Hello folks, welcome back to the podcast. This week the podcast is brought to you by Ultimate Add-ons. Ultimate Add-ons are the premium manufacturer of mobile phone and action camera mounting solutions for motorcycles. With a kit for any bike and a proven track record of creating products that keep your devices safe, secure and easily accessible, the Ultimate Add-ons product range is ideal for any rider, from the commuter to the round-the-world adventurer. Why shell out on the expensive GPS systems when you could use your smartphone, keeping it charged and within reach to take photographs of your travels at the same time? Ultimate Add-ons waterproof, shockproof and dustproof tough cases are available for all flagship smartphone models and are designed by riders for riders. Find out why Ride Magazine gives Ultimate Add-ons their coveted Best Buy certification. Keep riding this winter with Ultimate Add-ons. It's all about the journey. And if you use the code TeapotOne10, so it's TeapotOne, all one word, with the number 10 at the end, TeapotOne10, if you use that code at checkout, you get 10% off. We are also brought to you by TempRocket. TempRocket is a unique, powerful online solution for finding and booking temporary staff. Harnessing the power of online technology, the platform transforms temporary staff recruitment by bringing the three key players, hirers, agencies and contractors, together in one place to deliver a quicker, more efficient solution for all parties 24/7. TempRocket incorporates an innovative online bidding system through which hirers and agencies compare details and costs, then bid for a contractor with the option of making a counterbid, accepting or declining an offer until they find the ideal candidate, making life easier for contractors and freelancers, creating more business for agencies and simplifying the recruitment process for the hirer. TempRocket's a win-win-win. Please visit temprocket.com, TempRocket.com for more information. Lastly, we are brought to you by Innov. Now, as you all know, I have the Innov K2 system on my bike. It's like a dash cam, a car dash cam. Well, it's the same thing for a motorbike. So I have a camera mounted at the front and another one covering the rear. Basically, as soon as you turn on the ignition, the camera is activated, it starts recording straight away, and then when you turn off the ignition, there's a slight delay before the system all shuts down. You can also have it so that it is activated, it's permanently on standby, and it's activated if there's any jolts to the bike, any sudden movements, then the camera will automatically come back on, record, catch everything, and it can have like a loop system built in so that it is constantly recording. Great bit of kit. If you check out my social media or Innov's social media and have a little look for a clip by a chap called Peter McNaughton, you can see there he filters to the front of some traffic lights, sitting at some lights, the car behind basically got the arse with him and nudged him with the car, knocking him off his bike. The car claimed that Peter hit the front of the taxi and caused damage to his cab. Thankfully, Peter had the K2 installed, so when it went to court, they played the footage and the court unanimously found in Peter's favour and the taxi got lumped with everything. So it's a great bit of kit, folks. Check it out. Head to innovv.co.uk for more information. And there is lots to come from Innov in the future. I can't tell you what, but it is coming. Big secret. Can't wait for you to see it. Anyway, on with episode 35 of Bru Time. This week, we've got Mrs. Teapot on. Now, we filmed this in our living room, not in my usual setup. We were using handheld mics, so I'm afraid there's a little bit of, it's like a crunching noise you can hear whenever the mics move. I'm really sorry about that. I do apologise. This is a constant learning process for me. Also, I will make sure I use the arms in future. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this, a little insight into the woman behind TeapotOne. Enjoy. Folks, welcome to Bru Time episode 35, I think it is. Mrs. Teapot. You asked, and she very kindly said yes, she'll come on. So I hope you're ready for this, dear. There are a lot of questions. I think there's over 50 on Patreon alone, and then I think, 70, 80 or something on Instagram. Not a hope we're going to get through all that, but we will do our best. First off, shall we partake in a little tipple? Merry Christmas, dear.
Merry Christmas. Cheers.
Cheers. Right. Thanks very much, folks, for submitting in your questions. I'm sure they're going to be interesting. First off, we'll go to Patreon. So that's patreon.com/TeapotOne. Over to the clan. First off, we have David Hemmings. Mrs. Teapot, you obviously have the patience of a saint being with Bruce and his antics. What would be your dream trip with Bruce carrying your bags? Now, that doesn't have to be on a bike.
It wouldn't be on a bike.
All right, what's your dream place to go to then?
I'd quite like to do Canada, I think.
Oh, yeah. Boats.
All of it.
See, this is why I married this woman. Come on, what are we doing then? How long for? Mode of transport?
Well, it'd have to be quite a big trip because it's quite a big place.
Yeah.
But probably just doing what we normally do, where we don't book anything and we just hire a car, change it for a bigger one when we get there.
I always book the budget car, and then when we get there, we end up with the biggest things they've got. Even the Americans go, that's a big ass truck. We get these massive things. But we've done it twice, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've done two sort of
three
road
times.
trips. Three.
Twice in America and once in Scotland last year.
Yeah. We've done it twice over in the States there, where we just sort of landed into, I think, New York, hired a truck. First time we went right up and did the northeast, didn't we? All up around Boston and Maine and Vermont and upstate New York, all around there. And then the second time we again landed in New York, and then we went south to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, and then we did Philadelphia.
That's right, yeah. And then inland up through Pennsylvania, Cleveland, and then across to Chicago, wasn't it?
Yep.
So it's good. So chunk by chunk, we're doing bits of the States. But it's really good. We enjoy that, don't we?
Yeah.
Like, no plan. Just
we don't book anything at all. We just have to. We start one place and want to finish up in another place, and we just drive and go where we want, stop where we want. Sometimes we don't always get in where you think you're going to go, do you? So we just go to the next place. Or
I think maybe we should tell people a little bit about you, actually, because normally I go, right, what's your name, where'd you come from, and people have a chance to give themselves a little bit of an introduction. But I mean, you've done some travelling yourself, haven't you?
Yep.
So tell everyone what you've done. Sorry,
you dick. Always travelled, really. Travelled with my parents from when we were about 7. I think we went to mainland Greece just for yearly holidays. And then when I was... God, I can't remember how old I was. But for the millennium, me and Ruth, my best friend, went around the world backpacking.
Just went off around the world.
Whatever he says, I'd been there and done it already, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we started in the States, did Boston, all across the States. We've got the Greyhound buses, which are very interesting mode of transport. And from there we went to Hawaii and then to Australia for 6 months, then Indonesia, and then flew into Singapore, and then backpacked up through Malaysia and Thailand.
It's got a very interesting slideshow if you want to see it at some point.
You've never seen it, so I don't know what you're on about. And then across to India.
Where'd you go in India?
We started off down in Delhi. I can't even remember. Started off in Delhi. We went up to Varanasi, to the Ganges. We did went up to Darjeeling, right up there. You could
Trust you to go Darjeeling. That's tea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mrs. Teapot, Nikki is her name, is a complete tea fiend. Hence why she's married TeapotOne.
Yeah, that was the reason, the sole reason. And then came out of... No, we started in Mumbai and then came up through. And then we came out of Delhi. We left out of Delhi. Delhi was last.
And you've also... There is that small bit where you lived in the States for a while and
Yep.
lived in Oz as well, didn't you?
Yep. I started off when I was 18. I didn't go to university. I didn't want to. So I went to Boston as a nanny with Au Pair in America agency. And I did 6 months in Boston, 6 months in Chicago. Then I was only back in the UK for 8 weeks, I think. And then I went to Australia for a year as a nanny. But I was only a nanny for 3 months over there. And then
That's all.
And then I went and worked in McDonald's and went down the beach a lot.
Smoked a lot of weed and, yeah. Oh, sorry, mother-in-law's watching this. She didn't. Right, so that'll give you a little bit of a background, folks. It's not just me that has the wanderlust. Next one, Jamie Dollery. Beard or no beard? That is the question.
I don't mind it, to be honest. It's not too bad. It's better when he takes care of it. If he doesn't take care of it, then it's horrible.
Beard oil. Men and possibly ladies out there, if you have a beard oil does the job.
Yeah, but it's weird when you're sat there with your husband watching telly and he's like this and he just goes, "Oh, I think I've got split ends." Yeah, it's interesting.
I have said that.
Yeah, so I don't mind him having the beard at all.
Do you remember?
I don't like when you're drinking squash.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't wipe it off his top lip and then he'll give me a kiss and it's minging.
Even if I do wipe it, it's still moist. What can I say?
It's minging.
Do you remember that time I went to the barber's in Maidstone, the old boy,
Yeah.
and I just wanted a little trim, and he literally gave me like a number 3, and I came back, and you were just like, "What have you done?" Right.
And I don't like beard pubes because they just get everywhere.
I don't
they're
like-
disgusting.
I don't like beard pubes. No, it's
horrible.
It's a horrible part of beard ownership. They are everywhere. It's horrible. And if you don't use beard oil, you get beard draft, and that's horrible too. Anyway, nice.
Cute.
Yeah, you're a lucky woman. Smoky Gun. Mrs. Teapot, what's your dream bike, either as rider or pillion, and where would you head on it?
I knew people were going to ask me about bikes. I have got no clue about bikes. For all you people that are bike nuts, I'm really sorry. It's just doesn't float my boat, really.
You went on the back of the Jigsaw, didn't you, when I had the Jigsaw?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
No, I don't blame you.
Yeah. We'd booked tickets to go to the cinema and to go to the pictures.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to be going. We didn't have the Flavia for some reason. The Skoda was in the garage.
Yeah.
So we were going to go in the camper van. This is when we lived in Watford. But I hadn't turned the lights off on the camper van, so it had a flat battery. And we had like 10 minutes before the film started. So Bruce was like, get on my bike, it'll be fine. The first
Jigsaw
time I'd
to
ever
the
been
rescue.
on the back of a bike. Yeah. No, it wasn't a pleasant experience at all.
I don't blame you. I
Didn't
wouldn't
like it.
I wouldn't go pillion
Especially
on the back
there's
of
loads of little roundabouts all the way to the cinema, wasn't there?
that.
And
You were horrendous as a pillion on that.
it was the first time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But yeah, you were horrendous. But you go on the back of the GS now, the tractor.
Yeah, that's
quite-
nice.
you don't
That's
mind that?
comfortable. No,
Yeah.
I think that's mainly because the back box is on there,
Yeah.
so it's not too bad.
Cool.
Doesn't feel like you're just going to fly off the back, because I think you forget a lot of the time that you've got somebody on the back and you just
No, I don't.
whiz off.
I don't. That is taking it easy.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Now, Smokey asks, where would you head on it? Is there anywhere you would like to go on the bike? As in like a trip somewhere?
Only from places that I've heard you talking about, like going to Norway. I'd love to do Norway.
Would you?
'Cause- Yeah, well, you said the places in Norway
It
are
is.
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's just really expensive.
Well, you could pay, so we'll be all right.
Yeah. And Polly, if you're watching, we'll come and stay with you.
I keep trying to get you to come to the Canaries and do something out in the Canaries. Would you do it?
Do what in the Canaries?
Well, I mean, you don't need to ride every single day on the bike, on the back of the bike, but you could come and do a day out on a bike or something, and then lounge about the pool, do your thing, whatever it is you like doing.
Do they have car boots in the Canaries?
I don't know, actually. Joy, Martin, Jose, do they have car boots in the Canaries? I didn't notice there.
I don't mind. I'd give it a go, but when the furthest we went probably was to Hastings, wasn't it, when we went down to Ruth's?
Well, you're talking about going to Norway. It's like a 2-day ride just to get there.
Yeah, I know, but...
In fact, 3.
I don't know. I'd probably take the van.
Well, I think there's a lot of questions about the van, actually, so we better crack on. Next one, Pete English. Fantastic. Hope you're
Hi,
both
Pete.
well. We know Pete. We know Pete. Pete has met Nikki. You have lost the ability of saying thank you, and now you have 3 options to replace it. You might need more drink. Number 1, jumping up and licking them in the face. Number 2, licking your finger and sticking it in their ear. Number 3, touch them tenderly in the unmentionables. Wow. Wow.
What were the options again?
Number 1, jump up and lick them in the face. Number 2, lick your finger, lick your ear, lick your finger and stick it in their ear. Or number 3, touch them tenderly in the unmentionables. This is just to say thank you. What you go for?
I don't know. You've got some weird mates.
I do. Pete is probably the weirdest.
Yeah. Got to be a wet willy, isn't it?
Wet willy. Lick your finger and stick it in their ear.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, what would you do?
Well, yeah, out of those 3, I'm not going to lick their face. I'm not going to cut their whatsits. Well, no, I could get you in some situations. Yeah, it would have to be lick your finger and stick it around the ear.
Pete.
Nice one, Pete. Cheers. Rob Bignell. Hi, Mrs. T. So are you going to continue what you started and finish your bike test?
Possibly. Eventually. I did enjoy doing it, the CBT.
Yeah.
I don't think doing it in February is the best time to do it.
Probably not, no.
It was absolutely freezing.
And icy.
I've never been so cold. I've got to be honest, riding a bike, it was a bit more scary than what I thought it would be. Not the fact that I'm on a bike riding, everybody else around you, because you really realise, you really notice how bad drivers
how
are.
on offer you are to other people.
Yeah, you feel really vulnerable. When you're driving a car, you're used to just having the whole car surrounding you, but on a bike you're just vulnerable, and you realise how many people look but don't see you.
Yeah.
If I was going to do it again, then I would have to have a bike at home to do it on, to practice on, or when I'd done the CBT to go straight out on. But literally I'd never been on a bike apart from one of those little tiny pee-wee things when I was in Australia that my mates had. But yeah, maybe one day.
So it's not a no, possibly. Well,
Not a no.
Sarah wants to do it. She wants to do her CBT.
Yeah.
My mate Fulch is Mrs. Sarah. Sarah, get on the case. Right, Will Carroll. Mrs. Teapot, sorry. Do you get fed up with Bruce continually talking about his GS and his trip?
Yes.
Do I talk about it a lot to you?
Yes.
Do I?
Not so much now. You used to. When you first came back, you were all like, "Oh, when I was here, we did this, and
When I was in
when we
band
did
camp."
this, and yeah, when we did this," and it was just like, "Oh, great." While I was sat at home working hard.
Oh, yeah. You pined every single day for me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure
Pined.
you did. Thanks, Will.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting. But it's like more when we meet people and they want to talk to you about it, and I'm just like, oh, I've heard all this before. And I just go off and do something else.
I used to be, when I was at work in the old Bill, if you don't know, Nikki does exactly what I used to do. She's still there.
But better.
But with bigger guns, yeah. I used to be very conscious that people would just come up to you and ask how I was getting on the trip and stuff. And
yeah.
I did feel bad about that. It's like, everyone's coming up and asking you how I am. And, it's like, well, how are you?
Yeah.
Are you all right? Yeah. But, it's understandable because I'm a legend, if you haven't figured that out. I'm a legend.
Apparently.
Yeah. I'm a leg end. Next one. Overlander, no coriander. Mrs. Teapot, did Bruce tell you about the goat that featured in the podcast with the likeable rider and Andy Mancam? I don't suppose
Do
you've
I need
seen
to
that.
know this?
Somebody gave a question that said, you've got two options. You can either shag a goat and nobody ever finds out about it, or not shag the goat but everybody thinks you did. So I said, well, I'll shag the goat and then no one's ever going to know about it, and that's fine, rather than everyone thinking I'm a goat shagger. And the other two boys went, no, we're not going to shag a goat. Yeah, thanks for that, Overlander. Cheers. Cheers. Well, what would you do? We'll put you in that situation. What would you rather have? People think that you had sex with a goat, or you do it and then no one ever knows about it? Tell the world.
I wouldn't do it.
So you'd rather people thought you did it?
Well, I don't care what people think.
Wow. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
But
I just feel a wrong.
You would really just...
I'm from Aberdeen, dear. It's a pastime up there. It's what we do.
Orcs.
No, not really. Not really. Aberdonian and proud. David Munser. Mrs. T, are you hoping for a little more peace in 2021? As in, I'm going to bugger off more.
It doesn't really make much difference because when you're here, you're just up in the office editing anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't see him that much.
Okay. Awkward.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind you going away. It doesn't bother me.
No.
But I like it when you're home. I like it when he's home.
We've kind of got used to being round each other a lot more, haven't we? Because of COVID in lockdown, I've been home and Nikki's been pretty much working from home. So for the first time really ever, we've both been home most of the time together.
Yeah, but it's not like we've been getting under each other's feet or anything,
know.
because I'm always working and you're always
Working.
in the office looking at cats on treadmills and goats in trees and stuff. Which is what you do, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty much what I do for a living. Yeah. No, I mean, we've always liked our own space, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the main reason we work, is that we work together, is that we do enjoy time together, but we don't need to be together all the time.
No, we're never
We
in
like
each
our own
other's
space.
pockets.
Yeah, dug myself out of that one. Gary Taylor. Mrs. T, how did you fill those long, lonely nights while Bruce was travelling the world? Also, did you both find it hard when you had to live under the same roof again? How did you cope without me?
I pined every night.
She phoned me every single day. I had to ignore her in the end. God.
I was busy. I was working loads, to be fair.
You weren't a fortune while I was away.
Yeah. What was the question? What did I do in the evenings?
How did you fill the long, lonely nights? Or how did you cope while I was away? And then did you find it hard when I came back?
I coped all right while you was away. Until you started to get into trouble. And then I got worried. And yeah, that was a bit worrying when he was in, was it Mauritania?
Mauritania, Africa, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a bit concerning. Not knowing sort of exactly where you were and what you were going through, and then you'd phone up and you'd be a bit like stressed. Yeah,
stressed is a word, yeah.
Yeah, but feeling a bit useless as well, because I couldn't do anything to make it easier for you, to make it better for you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you were telling me what you were going through, and all I could really say was, well, get your head down and just keep going.
Yeah.
But that's difficult when you're sat in a nice cosy flat watching telly.
No, it was good though. It was nice just to hear you basically say, look, I'm behind you no matter what you decide to do. Because before I made the decision to come home that first time, you know, I didn't want to let you down. I didn't want to let anyone down. And as a bloke, you don't want to give up, do you? Especially not in front of your missus. And it was nice just to hear from you. I remember I phoned you when I got through the border, and it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
I remember speaking to you, and you basically saying, "Look, just be safe, and if you want to come back, just come back. I'm here for you." And that, you were basically you were a rock the whole way through it.
Still am, dear.
You still are, dear.
Still.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, next bit.
And when you came back,
Yeah.
that was fun times when you came back.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was quite difficult for you more than anything, wasn't it? Adapting to being
struggled.
home, having to go back to work, having to have that regimented structure, and you soon slip into the ways of being in that kind of a job, don't you? And just.
But I think I changed. Well, I know. Did you think I changed when I came back? I felt like I had.
I don't know.
No. I felt like I had, but nobody else had.
Yeah.
And it was weird trying to.
You seem to have more drive to want to do other stuff. But that's probably why you were frustrated when you went back in the job, because you were then sort of not institutionalised, but sort of once you get back in, then it's hard to kind of get out and do anything like that again.
Yeah.
As in, you sort of feel trapped. Not trapped, but yeah, I suppose trapped. It's quite a secure job, isn't it?
Yeah, the good thing about my old department, Nikki's current department, is it's short-staffed, so there's a lot of overtime there, and there always has been. So it's a sort of place you go, and if you do the overtime, you can make quite a bit of money. You know, for a copper, you can make quite a bit of money there. But it means having no life. You know, you literally work all the time, and that's the kind of person I am, really. You know, I throw myself into, if I'm going to do something, I throw myself into it. I think that's pretty fair to say. So,
and I think as well, you coming back, you'd wanted to do your book and do a load of stuff with the videos that you'd done over there. But finding the time to do that as well as working was quite difficult. Yeah. I'd also managed to fill my flat full of quite a lot of tut while you was away.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, but some of it was yours from your place as well.
Oh, what, all the stuff that I sold?
2 boxes.
Yeah.
I sold. I made you a lot of money. Yeah, and you struggled with that a bit as well, didn't you? Because we didn't really have any space. And
yeah. Kind of going from being on the road all the time and no constraints at all, really, no responsibilities at all, and then all of a sudden I'm home, I'm confined to one place. That place is, well, it was horrendous. You did have an issue. It was like a hoarder's place. And then I had no money, so I'm working all the time trying to get the money back. So you kind of go from one extreme to the other, really. And I've never hidden it. I struggled. I really struggled. And at one point kind of had to say to you, I think I can't deal with this. And again, you were brilliant.
But then it turned out, didn't it, that it wasn't just you coming back, because you had that health issue.
Yeah.
Which was making you really anxious and...
Yeah, I had a heart issue that I didn't know about. I developed when I was away, so... Yeah, that didn't help, did it?
No.
It's quite a rough first, probably 2 years, wasn't it, when I came back? Because we were going to get married in...
2015.
15, yeah. Yeah, but it was right when I was going through the issue with my heart and just things weren't good. So we put it off a year, didn't we? And by then we found this place and moved here. Life is good.
We got married in the same year.
We did.
Two of life's biggest events.
Oh yeah, we moved and got married
no
in the same year. But it was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, cracking day. Cheers, Gary. Next one, Darren Creswell. Mrs. T, have you thought about your own... Oh, here we go. I think we've answered this. Have you thought about your own bike licence, and could we see a Mrs. T and Mrs. Flyer spin-off podcast? I think that would be an interesting listen. Mrs. Flyer, Missenden Flyer, my mate Andy, his Mrs. Carol is lovely. You get on very well with Carol. She has just done her CBT and is looking to progress onto another bike. That would be interesting, though, to have you and Carol just doing your own podcast. If you'd be up for that.
Possibly.
We could just get a lot of gin involved. You'd have a whale of a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, that, Darren. We can maybe have a little chat
I
about that.
probably would think about doing my CBT again.
Yeah.
But I'd like to do it on my own.
Your
I'd
own
like to
bike.
get a bike and do it on that.
Does
So I
that
kind
mean
of
we have
know.
to get another motorbike?
No, dear, not just yet.
You heard it here, people. Mark Fulcher. Yeah. All right, Fulch, we were talking about you. Can you ask Nikki if Uncle Mick and Auntie Sue can box up the normal between Christmas buffet and send it over to me? Always puts in a good spread, them pair, bless him.
Oh,
I think she's already asked for you.
I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would.
Also, when is she planning on doing her CBT again? As I know Sarah's keen. There we go. Well, I already mentioned that Sarah was doing it. So the pressure's mounting, dear. That's about 4 people now asking when you're going to do it.
Possibly then, maybe soon.
Alfred says hello. Willie Wood, if you could
Oh,
talk.
hi, Alfred.
Can't wait to come up and see you guys, mate. It's been way too long. Amish rider. Now that Bruce's sizable frame is out of the way, how do you cope fending off all the advances at work? Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's not
It's
from you
tough.
then, is it, you one-arm freak?
it's tough. Honestly, I just have to have this big stick and just beat them away.
They've got more respect for me. Mind you, they're all new now, aren't they?
You don't give them their overtime.
It's a good point. Nikki's in charge of overtime and things like that at work, so it's very, very popular. Matt, just one question for the boss. How do you put up with Bruce? Wishing you both a great Christmas.
It's not too bad. He's not too bad. I don't think.
But, is there a but?
Oh, yeah.
Go on.
Well, I've got to start work at 6 in the morning. We haven't got that
Oh,
long.
come on, tell me. This is like couples therapy, this.
Is it? Do
Yeah.
we need therapy, do
Tell
we?
me. No, we don't at all. I don't think we do.
No, he's all right. He just kind of does his own thing. Don't you? I don't mind you doing all your bike stuff. Never have. Never stopped you.
No,
As much as he moans, he probably moans, oh, my missus.
I don't. You're brilliant.
I've never stopped him going away on his bike.
No,
I've never stopped him buying a bike that he's wanted to buy.
no. You are the master of putting the ball in my court. Definitely. Because I know you don't. You would never like say, you're not one of these other halves that turn around and go, you're not doing that. I don't want you to do that. You've never been like that, and you know that's part of the reason I've married you, because I wouldn't get involved with somebody that was like that. So, you know, we met when I had the round the world trip already planned. So that was literally the first date, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know I'm going away on this trip, and you've been brilliant about everything since, really. So we get on well. I don't mind you doing your thing. You go away in the camper van and do your thing, and
Yeah, it works, doesn't it?
yeah, we're not a couple that sort of strangles each other,
No.
are we? We never really have rows.
No.
Very, very rarely do we ever have.
We take the piss out of each other a lot.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
Don't we?
yeah. I think so.
We have
Yeah.
a laugh.
I think it's a bit of give and take though, because I am very conscious that the vast majority of my time is taken up with work and bikes and trips. So we kind of have this rule, don't we, that just 1 month a year, that month is, at some point in that month is our time.
Yeah, it's
and we're
usually
gonna
November, isn't it?
Yeah, and we'll go and do our own trip.
Go on holiday or something.
Yeah, I mean, it was even just going to be up to Norwich, wasn't it, or Norfolk this year?
Yeah, Norfolk.
but
Sandringham.
yeah, but it couldn't happen this year.
Didn't happen.
Pardon me, but yeah, I think it's a bit of give and take, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure you tell
It
me.
works for us though, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does.
It's like,
Yeah, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. Jamie Kiley, as Mrs. Teapot let you go around the world, what would Mrs. Teapot like to go or do? Kind of covered that. at
Yeah,
the start,
pretty
didn't we?
much. I'd like to do Canada. I'm not massively bothered about really hot places. I've kind of done Thailand and Australia and like really hot places. Mumbai was very hot. Yeah, and I'm not a massive beach person. I don't mind having like 4 or 5 days just laying by the pool doing nothing.
Yeah.
But I quite like, that's why I like it when we go to America. because we can just do loads of stuff, whereas if it's too hot, I just get Mardy and I don't cope well with it when it's too hot.
Yeah, and
so I'd like to do Canada when it's cold, where it's like really cold. Yeah.
Is there anywhere else other than Canada and Norway? Did you do Japan on your travels?
Yeah, a little bit Tokyo.
You did?
Just Tokyo.
Just Tokyo. I think you would love Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to take you over there.
But there's so many places here that I want to go to.
Yeah, definitely. Well, as soon as we can, dear, we'll jump on the van and go.
You say that, but then you always moan because you don't like driving it.
No, I don't, to be honest. Well, I could be on the bike and you take the van.
That's a lovely family holiday.
Yeah, but when we get somewhere, we're together.
Yes, dear. And you'll be in the tent because you don't like sleeping in the van.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's
not really
gonna
a
work,
holiday,
is it?
Never mind. What's the thought that counts?
We'll do something. We will go away in the van. We've done it before.
Yeah,
it's just you can't do it for too long because the bed's quite narrow, isn't it? And
yeah.
You're quite wide.
Kills my back. Next one, John Broadhurst. Merry Christmas. Question from Mrs. Teapot. What is the correct amount for tipping the bin men? 0, 5 to 10, 10 to 20, or 3 crates of beer? Wishing one and all a very Merry Christmas and all the best to the new year. John's a bin man. He drives the bin wagons and listens to the podcast with the other lads.
Oh, brilliant. I always just give a big box of chocolate.
Yeah.
Celebrations, we've got other celebrations there for the bin men tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not monetary, but yeah, big, massive tub
I always think
chocolates.
how they can't really drink beer because they're having the temptation there when they're working. They can't just open it up when they're working. Money's hard to split between however many bin men there are, and there's always different bin men on different routes. But a nice big box of chocolates, they can all just tuck in and have them on the rounds, can't they?
Forever the practical thinker, my missus.
So one for the recycling men, one for the normal bin men. The postman gets a box of chocolates and a Christmas card. He's lovely, our postman, isn't he?
You want to do the rounds in our street, I tell you. Sheesh. She keep you well fed, obviously. Right, Chris Murphy. Merry Christmas, both. Mrs. T, if you could travel anywhere... that's another one. If you could travel anywhere with Bruce, where would you go? Would you go passenger or your own bike, or just fly and meet him there?
At the moment, I would probably meet him there. I think I would need to get used to being pilling a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like we said, the furthest I've actually been so far is to Hastings, which was not an awfully long distance away.
No.
What is it, an hour?
Hour and a half, something like that. Hour
20
and a half.
minutes, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of struggled to get off after that. My old knees are seizing up, and when he stops for petrol and I'm like, do I have to get off? And he's like, yeah, you've got to get off. I'm like, oh, gosh. I have to unfold myself off the back. It's not very good looking. It's not a good sight, is it? But
what's it then, dear?
Possibly. If I do it more and get used to it, it might be all right.
Maybe just get a more comfortable bike.
I think that's comfortable.
Okay.
Well, you were taking me to work in it, weren't you, every day?
Yeah.
On it.
But then you didn't
When
like it when the
lockdown
traffic
started.
got busy again.
No, I didn't. Again, it's not you. A little bit was you. Because you can tell so easily when you're getting frustrated with idiots on the road, and you gets very jerky and gets cross, and you can see him shaking his head, and I'm just like, ooh, okay.
I am an angel.
Yeah, and I know I didn't like it when it was really busy, all that traffic.
Mark Nix. With the big upheaval, with Bruce leaving the police, what emotions went through your mind?
I thought I'd have to move house and live in a shoebox.
Did you?
No. No, I didn't. It's
You were the one that actually said to me, just go for it.
To be fair, it's something you've thought about for a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And in a way, I think it did you a favour, because it forced you into making that decision. It forced you into going.
No, you're right.
And forcing you to have to give 110% this to make it work. Whereas before you was, I think I might do it part-time or something like that, weren't you?
I contemplated going part-time in the old bill. But I just didn't think I was at a place yet with YouTube that I could even, there's no way I could have afforded to go part-time in the old bill. And the stars just seemed to align, really.
Yeah. I think it did you a favour.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
It was worrying. It was worrying. It's, and obviously 3 weeks before lockdown was not the best time to go self-employed.
No, not at all. It's, I've chatted with a lot of friends about it. Like, friends who've left the old bill and friends who've never been in the old bill and who are self-employed and things. And, effectively I'm self-employed now and I've never been self-employed before. And it is sort of nerve-wracking because I'm sure there's loads of people out there in the same boat. You just never know. You never know. Each month I'm relying on sponsors, Patreon massively, merch sales, all that sort of stuff, my trips. I'm relying on all that income to sort of roll in to cover the bases for the month. And all of a sudden with COVID, a couple of sponsors had to pull, patrons, obviously that's gradually decreasing because people are feeling the pinch now, and I can't blame them. But it's like every month it's a worry, definitely.
Yeah.
But I love the freedom.
Yeah. It was difficult. And I sort of said to you, well, look, I'm in a fortunate position that in my job I can do overtime and earn extra. And I just sort of said to you, look, I says, just promise me that if ever you're struggling, you tell me, because we can sort something out. And you've always said, well, if I can't get the basics to cover what our outgoings are that we need, then you would get a job, get a part-time
I'll just
job.
have to get a job, yeah.
But so far...
No, it's been close. It's been close a couple of times, but touch wood so far. But
then a lot of that is because you couldn't do your trips this year.
Yeah. I mean, there's no trip income at all this year, so that.
So hopefully that'll be better next year.
Hopefully, yeah. But this has been a big eye opener. Definitely, it's been a big eye opener that I think you kind of have to have. I think this goes for everybody, really, unless you're in a fairly unique position working for the old bill, effectively the government, that. Your job's really not in question unless you do something stupid like me. Yeah. Your job's not in question, so that is definitely a good luxury.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, well, you need to diversify your income. Excuse me, and I thought I had done that, but I think going forward, I'll maybe need to look at multiplying that up a little bit. Look at me sounding all corporate, but I might need to look at a few more income streams coming in, just so I'm as sort of Loctite or watertight as I can be. We'll see.
Sorry, I'm looking at the cat.
Yeah, the cat's
He's
looking
like,
at us. What
is all this stuff?
It's bedtime for the cat, and he's looking at us, going like, "What are you doing?" Right. Yeah, Mark. That was Mark Nix that gave that question. He says he's going through something similar. It was a decision that could not be made without my wife's input. Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely, it's something that I would say you have to discuss with your other half for sure. It's a fairly
she's got to be comfortable with it. She's
step, isn't it?
Yeah, but then he's also got to be realistic to understand that be prepared that if things don't go as you hope, that you will be able to do other stuff.
Yeah.
To make ends meet.
And I get messages from not certainly coppers, but not just coppers. I get messages from a lot of people saying, "Oh, I want to go full time on YouTube. How did you do it? What's the best way for me to do it?" And I kind of have to turn around to people and say, I'm in a fairly unique position in that I did the trip, which is quite a significant achievement. So that in itself gives you a little bit of kudos amongst the...
You went around the world, Might not have mentioned it.
I genuinely don't like talking about it, but it just comes up all the time. You know, it's like I've got a little bit of credibility because of what I've done in the past. I've been at this for nearly 10 years now. It's not an overnight thing. And I think I've been in a really sort of fortunate position, really, that the stars have aligned, and I've made some good contacts through the trip and years of doing this, that when I made the decision to jump and go full time, people were in a position to, you know, sponsor the channel, back me, give me some contacts, give me some content and some work, and everything just sort of came together at the right time. Unfortunately, COVID then arrived, but you know, well, we're still here, still going, and hopefully keep my head above water. So it's looking good for next year. So got TV thing coming as well. Yeah. Let's see what happens with that. Paul,
can I retire and be a kept woman yet?
I'd need to get paid first. But, I don't think we're getting paid for the first one. We'll see. Paul Partridge. This will be good. Need to think of a good question. To Mrs. TeapotOne, what's Bruce's most annoying non-bike related habit? Merry Christmas, both. I'm interested to hear this. Come on. Don't pull any punches. I want to know.
The squash on your tash. I hate that. Yeah.
Seriously, that's my biggest annoying habit.
No, that's just one of them.
Go on then.
I'm thinking.
A wet tash from drinking orange squash. Wow.
He leaves the water in the sink when he's done the dishes and doesn't let it down, and it just sits there and goes cold. That drives me nuts.
Do you know why I do that? Because you use every single cup and piece of cutlery we own every single day. So once I've done the dishes, I think I may as well just leave the water in there, because there's going to be another load to wash.
Yeah, but then it just goes all cold and manking, and all the scuzz is at the bottom of the sink, and then it...
Yeah, and then you just let the water go. And
yes, and you just let the water go and leave all the bits in the sink.
I don't. I rinse the sink down.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You do not.
Yes, I do. Is that still recording? Yeah, it is. It's flashing.
No, it doesn't. I don't think you've got many annoying habits.
Of course I don't. I'm awesome.
No, you're not that awesome. Your phone.
What about my phone?
You're always messing with your phone.
So you're always on that.
Not like you. And he can't do anything without listening to these American podcasts.
Oh yeah, that you do. That does annoy you.
Because if he's in the kitchen or he has it playing in the shower and it sounds really tinny with the American accents, it's just grates on me, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, I do. I've calmed that down. I try not to listen to
He has it playing
podcasts
in his pocket if he's walking around the house doing stuff.
Yeah, because I'm listening to it.
I know, but I'm trying to listen to radio too.
Jeremy Vine, argumentative twat. Thanks, dear. Thanks. Cheers, Paul. Thanks for that.
That's not bad.
No, that is all right.
They're not
that
bad,
is
really. There's nothing really that you do that...
Well, I know that because I'm awesome.
He's very stubborn.
No, I'm not.
Very stubborn. And he doesn't... He won't do something unless he thinks it's his idea. So you have to sow the seed and work on it and let him think that he's come up with it.
God, you sound like my mum.
Well, it's true.
That's exactly what she said about my dad.
And then if he thinks it's his idea, it's a wonderful idea, let's do it. And I'm just like, okay. Not that I mentioned that 3 weeks ago.
She's making it up. Next question. Leaf Henning Kirkerud. When are we going to see... Oh, we've had this. Sorry, Leaf. When are we going to see Mrs. Teapot on her own bike? I think fairly soon. We shall see. Next year? 21?
Maybe.
We'll see.
It's difficult. It's difficult at the minute, working and...
You don't like being pressured into anything?
No. And I've done it, and I really enjoyed it, and I would like to do it again. Sorry, and I would like to do it again. But like I said, I want to have my own bike.
Yeah.
But that was the plan last time, wasn't it? Once I'd done my CBT, was to get a bike. Mm-hmm. We just never got round to it. I mean, it was 2 years ago. It ran out in February, so it was over 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And we just never got round to doing it. We were always busy doing other stuff or working or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'd like, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it properly. I don't want to do it and then lose confidence. I want to be able to do it and give it a good go. But I don't know how you'd be to ride with. I think I'd probably wind you up for being too slow.
I don't know. It's a difficult one, that. I'd like to think I'll be patient. I don't know. We'd need to see.
Because you're not patient in a car.
No.
He's dreadful driving a car. Hates it.
I don't mind driving.
Yeah, but you're not good at it.
Bugger off.
You're not.
Recommended for advanced, I was.
He gets frustrated.
It's not me, it's
because
everyone
he likes
else.
to be in front and he can't get in the front in a car. He has to wait. He doesn't like it.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yes, dear. What else we got here? Peter Budgeon, going to be the funniest time yet. Hope you're enjoying it, Peter. Andy Horton, we've already asked that. Mrs. T, how did you feel when Mr. Teapot decided to leave Plod due to the knob who reported him? We covered that. Jeff Armstrong, hi Mrs. Teapot. If you were out riding or driving and making a video, would you blur out your Speedo?
I wouldn't need to, dear.
You wouldn't need to. I've seen you drive.
The Flavia doesn't go that fast.
I've seen you drive.
Camper doesn't go that fast.
No, the camper doesn't. You would be safe in the camper van. You'd be safe in a 20 in the camper van. Andy Bryan. Bruce, it'll be really good to get to know Mrs. Teapot. Looking forward to it, mate. Cheers, Andy. Hope you're enjoying it, buddy. Chris Cunningham. Does his beard get in the way and does it molt a lot around the house?
Yes, it does molt a lot around the house.
Yeah, it does molt. Yeah. Yeah. And for me, it gets in the way, I've got to admit. It's sort of at the stage where if you take a fork full of food, it gets caught in it, and it is a bit annoying.
Why don't you just trim your tash bit?
Well, I have done. I've trimmed up here a lot, and I tend to bite.
He does.
When I'm
he
working,
bites it.
I sit down and bite in the side a lot, and that sort of trims it. And it's tickling the underside of my nose a lot at the moment. Yeah, but I'm not getting rid of it. I'm keeping it. Lee Hurst, did you know Bruce went round the world and that he likes the GS? Seriously, of all the stories you've heard of his many trips, what is the one place you definitely have to go to and the one place you definitely do not want to go to? Oh, and does he say look at that and woo-ha a lot outside of the podcast?
Yes, he does.
Do I say look at that a lot here?
No, you say like woosah.
Oh, woosah, I say.
Something like that. And
Yeah.
wallop.
Woosah's...
You say wallop a lot.
Yeah, but that's different. Woosah is like for chilling. Just chill out. Woosah. It's not woo-ha. It's woosah. And wallop's like, wallop. But yeah, what about the places I've talked about that you would definitely want to go to? You said Norway.
Norway. Yeah.
I never knew that about Norway.
I'd really like to go to Norway.
I didn't realise you wanted to go there.
You've never asked.
Yeah, but I've never heard you say, I really fancy that.
Can't get a word in.
Or that you really fancy Norway. Wait.
Dick.
What about one place you definitely do not want to go to?
Mauritania.
Yeah, don't blame
I
me on
don't
that.
think I want to go to Mauritania.
Yeah, I don't think I ever want to go there either.
I'd quite like Russia. I thought Russia sounded good as well.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Brilliant place.
But I'd like to do it on the that railway that Fiona did.
Trans-Siberian.
Trans-Siberian, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be an experience.
She sounded like she had a right good time.
I don't know if I'd want to do that with you,
That's all right.
I would feel very protective. I think. I don't know. I think I would feel like I would need to be watching you and looking after you. I know you don't need that, but I would feel that way, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you probably wouldn't want to do the same stuff that I want to do. Do you remember when I was in Washington? You wouldn't even hire an electric scooter to bed around the park with me.
No.
Yeah, I wanted to hire an electric scooter.
I probably needed the toilet.
And you wouldn't let me. You went, I'm not doing that. I'm not going one of them things. I said, come on, it'll be fun. We can just hire it and just bed around the park. It'd be really nice, quick way to get around.
Well, that would genuinely be a fun thing to do, but I can't remember that situation.
I can. I was gutted.
But that's either because I either maybe needed the bathroom because I have some pretty bad stomach issues, or I was just in a bad mood for whatever reason, and that's one of the times where I need to be either pushed or made to think that that's my idea. I would like to do that. Sitting here, I would think, yeah, that's quite a cool idea. But I can't remember.
You weren't having any of it.
No, I don't know why I didn't want to do it.
That.
I think I probably just needed the bathroom.
But no, I'm not doing that. And that might be an issue. I might want to do different things to what you want to do in Russia.
Yeah. But then that's all part and parcel of travelling together, isn't it? You kind of... Well, it's part and parcel of being together, isn't it?
Excuse me. Yeah, most of the time we're all right when we're travelling, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so.
We got into the habit, didn't we, in America, when we were going on those open-top buses all the time. Every city we went to, we went on the open-top bus tour around the city and then decided where we wanted to go and see. That worked really well, didn't it, in Washington?
Oh, yeah.
Washington, because everything was quite far apart, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we went to that war memorial, the
Vietnam one?
Yeah, that was really good.
Well, we did with them all, didn't we, all around DC. It was good, that.
Yeah, it was.
Simon Beale, what is Mrs. Teapot's favourite place that Bruce has never been to?
Has never been to.
You like New Zealand, didn't you?
Yeah, I love New Zealand.
I've never been there.
Yeah, New Zealand was great. I loved Australia as well. You weren't keen on Australia, were you?
I wasn't keen on it. I had in my head that like Aussies always seem to be very confident, very sort of forthright, and we'll do whatever we want type of people. And I love that sort of frontier attitude that they kind of portray. And then when I got there, it's like a nanny state. They're so over legislated on everything. And it was right at the time when the government had a thing about bikers. So you couldn't be in a group more than 3. You had to tell the old bill if you were going to meet up with more than 3 people and where you're going. And I remember just thinking, this is wet. Why are people putting up with this? And it sort of, I don't know, it sort of tainted my opinion really of Australia. And I just thought, I wouldn't want to live here because they just seem to be really heavily legislated by the government. And it's every state's got its own sort of laws. Like the States, like the US. And I didn't like that.
Do you?
No. I didn't like that.
I think you'd like New Zealand. I think you would like New Zealand. Yeah,
I think I would. I loved the vastness of Australia and the diversity of it.
Yeah.
I loved that. The cities were just great places to be. Like, it's not like, didn't feel like the cities in London where they're really overpopulated and just, I couldn't wait to get out. I feel claustrophobic in cities here. Whereas over there, maybe it's just because it's all new, but I don't know, it just felt like it was planned better over there. And then you've got the outback and you've got rainforest, you've got everything.
Where did you go in Australia?
Where? From Darwin up in the top, down Stewart Highway and then across the top. So I didn't go down to Uluru and all that. I went east right across the top.
To Uluru.
Yeah, I didn't get.
I went on top of it.
Did you?
You
don't think you can anymore.
No, I don't think you can.
Yeah, and I went across. Is it Townsville, right over in the north east of Australia?
Yeah, Cairns.
Yeah, and then didn't go as far up as Cairns, and then I went down the east to Brisbane, and then from Brisbane right across through the middle to Adelaide. Over on the west coast.
Didn't do the west coast.
And then I followed the coast basically all the way south along Great Ocean Road to Canberra. Met my mate. Remember Phil that came here? Big beard Phil?
Yeah.
Met him at his place. And then from there to Sydney. Yeah.
Melbourne's nice as well.
Yeah, I did Melbourne. Sorry, I met my mate Ronan there. It was great. Went and saw Neighbours, Ramsay Street.
Oh,
did all that. Yeah, did all that. Yeah, it's great. Melbourne was a nice city. That was a cool city.
Melbourne. It's nice, yeah. Go to Luna Park.
Yeah. Yeah, I think New Zealand, I'd love to go to, I've got my uncle there, haven't I? My uncle and aunt, Uncle Al, Auntie Jan.
Good there. It's good.
Yeah. Did you do both islands, north and south? Cool. Yeah, I want to go and do that.
I did everything there. Bungee, skydive.
I can't believe you did. I couldn't do bungee.
Paragliding.
Just don't want to do bungeeing.
Loads of stuff. Scuba diving. Loads. It was good.
Did you do the cage diving with the sharks?
No.
Never done that. I want to do that.
The luge, that race track that you sit in like go-karts. It's like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
That was really good.
They got that there. Wow. They've got that a lot in Europe.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Looks really good fun. Cool. Jeff Armstrong, hi again. General question for you both. On a previous podcast, Bruce briefly mentioned he came close to being bike jacked. Can you elaborate on that or similar events? And have you any advice if we feel we are being targeted by baddies? Yeah, that was on my way to work. Just going over Westminster Bridge, literally at the traffic lights at the foot of Big Ben. Just had the little bike with a hood rat on it, came up right across my path to block my way, and then there was the T-Max behind it, two up. They stopped. The guy in the front had a look at me. I had my camera on my helmet. He looked at the camera, looked at his mate, shook his head, waved at the camera, and went through the red light and off round Parliament Square and away. In all honesty, I think if something like that happens, it happens so quick that I like to think I'm fairly astute. I'm fairly aware of my surroundings and what's going on. You know, I always, when I'm in cities, I've always got the biking gear ready to go, just in case I have to, you know, for that exact situation. I'm always looking at my mirrors to see who's round about me, and I didn't notice them till they were on me. Literally, they just both were on me. What can you do to stop it? I think if it does happen, no bike is worth losing your life for. You know, I would like to stand here and say that I would throw one in the river and kick the crap out the other two, but the chances are, even though they're like 15 years of age and 8 stone soaking wet, the chances are they're armed up, and even if you're fighting one or two, the other one will just take your bike. And what's the point in effectively losing your life for that? So as much as it grates my shit to say it, if it happens, just live to fight another day. I think such a weak answer. What do you think?
Can you pass me one drink? I can't reach it.
You drink? Yes, dear.
I can't reach because I've got a cat on my knee.
What do you think?
Well, like you say, if it happens, thank you. If it happens that quick, there's not much you're going to be able to do about it. You've just got to try and be aware of
your surroundings,
I guess.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I like to think that I generally do and am, but they were on me before I knew it. So I don't know. It's hard to say because I think you can have every plan going, but unless that's something that you rehearse all the time and practice, the chances are that when it does happen for real, you'll probably pause that little bit too long and they'll be on you and push you off your bike and have the bike away before you know it. So I would suggest if they're armed, leave them to it. If they're not, fill your boots. I don't know. I really don't know. Next question. Stuart Bailey, how would you respond if Bruce woke up one morning and said, I'm selling the GS and buying a Harley instead?
It wouldn't make any difference to me, really.
No?
Well,
yeah, you're not fussed about any of that,
I don't.
you?
It doesn't. I know there's quite a few lads at work that have got Harleys and they go out riding together and
the
stuff, don't
K-Blades.
they? Yeah.
They're nicknamed as the K-Blades because they all ride Harleys.
Yeah, but it wouldn't bother me. It's just. I shouldn't say this. It's just another bike. They don't mean anything to me. They really
See what I have to live with.
Yeah, but you can tell me anything and I just go, wow, yes, dear.
Yeah, I've always had that bike, dear. I've always had that bike. Yeah, you're not fussed, are you?
No. I'm really sorry if you was all expecting me to be into bikes and know everything about them, and it's not my bag.
No bother. Michael Pierce Zoomerzette biker. If Mrs. Teapot passed her bike test, would you let her loose on the GS, on her own one, or even better, have Bruce's pillion? If I thought you were ready,
I don't think I'd be able to ride your bike. That's a massive bike.
yeah, you'd be
I've
surprised.
sat on it on my own at the front and it just
Yeah.
feels huge.
Yeah, they do when they're stationary, but as soon as they move, they're lovely. You know, if I felt you were confident enough and you felt you were confident enough, I'd have no problem you riding any bike I had, to be honest. I don't know if I'd go pillion, because I hate being pillion.
Well, you couldn't even go pilling with my lord. You didn't like it when I was doing the Brighton Marathon.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And you was
that's
basing
right.
you around to meet me.
That wasn't too bad. I just felt sorry for Nige because he's got 20 stone. I think I was 21 stone, maybe 22 stone at that time, on the back of his bike, and he was struggling a little bit. Dave Moore. Mrs. Teapot, how often does Bruce mention he's been around the world in daily conversation? Also, is the GS actually the best bike in the world?
He doesn't mention it as much now.
Good. I'm
I
glad
think he's
I don't.
given up. It was me going, wow, really?
You do tell me. I think if I was to mention something too much, anything too much, you do tell me.
I will just give a big yawn.
Yeah. It's the copper sort of sense. Any coppers out there, any military, any emergency services, we've all got the same sort of sense of humour. And obviously with both of us coming from that background, nothing's sacred, really. There's piss-taking aplenty, isn't there?
Massively.
Yeah.
But I did it first.
Paul, yeah, you did. Yeah, you got about 6 months more than me, haven't you?
No, I meant round the world first.
Oh, God, I thought you meant join the job. Oh,
yeah,
geez, you
that's two
did as well,
things,
didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not a real round the world that you did. It's not really round the world, is it?
We did it when there was no social media. We didn't even have...
Good, because you're
I
boring.
think we
Nobody would have been
literally
interested.
just got Facebook then.
No one's on Facebook.
No, we didn't even have Facebook then because it was for the... It was 99 to 2000. Because we was in Sydney for the millennium.
We were in Sydney for the millennium.
You weren't. I wasn't with you.
No, it's not we was. We were in Sydney. Use the correct language, dear.
Oh, you dick. Well, me, Ruth and I were in Sydney
Yeah, I say.
for the millennium.
Quite quaint.
Where
Anyway,
were
enough
you?
of your
Where were you?
round the world
Where
trip.
were you
You
for the
on?
millennium?
I was on the door.
doors in Glasgow.
I was on the
again.
door of the garage in Glasgow on Sauchiehall Street with my mate Andy Kearney. If you're listening, Andy. Yeah, didn't even know the bells had gone. Yeah, change days. Looking forward to this one. Paul Foster, looking forward to this one. Just a thought. Who will bring you your beer? TMF. Merry Christmas to you both and all your subs. Cheers, Paul. Well, we've got a little. You've got a little snowball on the go.
Cheeky snowball.
Yeah, I've just finished my first one. Get the second one racked up and ready to go. All right, next question. Neil Burton. Hiya, Neil. How you doing? Hello, Mrs. Teapot. When you get your full bike licence, do you think your relationship would survive a joint round-the-world adventure together on your own bikes? And what bike would you choose for the trip?
I don't know what bike, because I don't know any bikes.
Best bike in the world?
Kawasaki?
Oh!
I don't know, honestly. I've
Sheesh.
got no idea. No idea.
Would you be up for doing a round the world on a bike?
Probably not.
Why not?
I like my own comforts too much now, I think.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I do know what you mean.
I'd probably go off for a couple of months and do stints like that.
Yeah.
But I think a whole round the world thing, no, I don't know if I want to do that.
I've got to admit, I got used to get asked it all the time, and oh, that's horrible. That, and I always used to say, "I've done it. Don't really feel the need to do it
It'd
again."
never be the same as doing it again.
But I've just got this inkling to go and do like bits that I missed. I want to go and do Africa. I want to go and do India. I want to do New Zealand.
Yeah.
I want to do the bottom of South America to the top of the Americas because I missed out the two extremes. So I want to go back and finish that. There's the electric thing. I'd love to do.
Yeah.
Like
But
that
these are
around.
all things you can do. Just go off and do
Well,
bits and bobs rather than do it as a big round the
big
world
year and a
thing
half,
again.
2 year thing. Mhm.
For me, that's too long to be away.
Yeah, and me, to be honest, I don't think I'd want to be away for that length of time again. Certainly not, pardon me, not as things are with us.
Yeah. I
No.
think it's different now we've got the house. Because
Yeah.
we actually quite like being here, don't we? We like spending time here, and we've still got loads of work to do on it, but it's nice. I love days when we can just potter about when we're both at home.
Yeah, it is nice. Before that, we were always in flats, weren't we? We both had flats in London, so I didn't really enjoy my time, when I was home, so to speak. Nice to have days when you can just sit in your pants and watch crap TV, but I spent most of my time out on my bike anyway. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nice just pottering though, isn't it? Like you'll go in the garage and clean your bike, and I'll just be mooching about.
I never clean my bike.
Doing bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? You're just doing stuff. It's nice. It's nice mooching at home.
Mooching. Johnny Hackinson. Hi, Mrs. Teapot. Do you watch all the podcasts, or do you want us to tell you all the dirty secrets that Bruce reveals on them after a few beers? You don't watch a podcast, do you?
That's really bad.
No, I don't blame
That's
you.
really bad. I sometimes watch some of his videos.
Do you?
Not very often. I start to watch it and it starts off really good, but then when he starts to go into like the really detailed stuff about the bikes, and I'm just
Details?
like,
What details?
Then I lose interest.
So what you're saying is
then I have to leave it playing because I get into trouble then if I turn it off because it messes up his algorithms or some nonsense.
Algorithms.
What does it mess up?
If you just watch a bit of a video and then stop, it does harm the algorithm, because the algorithm just thinks, well, this is a crap video. People are turning off, after they're not watching much of the vid, they're just turning it off. So it effectively gives you marks against you for that.
Yeah, so I just don't watch them.
Thank you, dear.
Well, it doesn't
I
interest
don't
me,
blame
does
you.
it?
No, I don't blame you.
I watched a lot of your ones when you was on your trip going around the world.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I used to buy that magazine every month,
Fast Bikes.
Fast Bikes, to read his article every month and save it for him when he came back.
You did, actually. Yeah, I've got them
I
all.
did,
Thank
and
you.
I saw somebody reading it on the train.
Did you?
Yeah. I didn't say anything. I don't say that's my husband. Well, you weren't then, were you?
No.
You were my boyfriend. But, no, I'm not. Sometimes I do. If he thinks he's done a really good one, he'll say, look at this, look at this.
And then she
I
puts me
watch
back
it.
in my place.
And they go, that's amazing.
Thomas Kremers. Bruce, how did Bruce convince you to let him go around the world? And how can I explain to my wife that I want to go on a bike trip?
You see,
Any tips for her are welcome. Also, do you like having Bruce around the house more or not?
You see, you were already going, weren't you?
Yeah.
He was already planning it when we met.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 3 years before you went?
Yeah. We met 2010, so 2 years.
Yeah. So I always knew it was coming, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then actually got involved in fundraising and planning and going to events and
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was fun. And
God, I
then-
remember all those events we went to
Yeah.
with the stall and the bike and shaking the money tin, trying to get people to donate for the charities. And
Yeah.
God.
It was good fun though. I liked
Yeah, it
doing
was.
that.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah, good times.
What was the bit of the question?
How did I convince you to let him go around the world, and how can he explain to his wife that he wants to go on a bike trip?
You see, it depends how long you're going for, doesn't it? It
Yeah.
depends on, I don't know, it just depends, I guess, if you've got kids or...
I think honesty.
Yeah, you've got to be honest. You've got to find out if there's any parts that she'd like to do with you and stuff. Because I came out to
you came out to
Thailand
and New York
and the Isle
Boston.
of Man.
and the Isle of Man for the
TT.
end of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was brilliant fun.
Yeah, it
I
was
enjoyed
good.
that. But yeah, there was bits I wasn't fussed about doing. Because you said to me, didn't you, you can come out wherever you want.
Mhm.
But I didn't really want to go a lot of places that you were going.
I think I'm definitely in a better position because when we met, I already had it planned. So I think it's safe to say you had no idea what you didn't fully appreciate what you were letting yourself into, or in for, but you knew I was going away.
Yeah, I knew you were
Excuse
going.
me. So
I didn't know you'd go and come back and bugger off again.
Yeah.
That wasn't part of the deal.
No, but you know, even after that, you've never said to me, you know, I'm not happy about you doing this or you doing that. And
No, we talked about it. Wasn't there some point you wanted to go somewhere for quite a long time? And I said, I don't know if I'd be comfortable with you going away for that long again. Was it like 6 months or 8
was that my
months
cycle?
or something?
Cycle around the UK.
Are you still going on about that?
Yeah, I'm deadly serious. Yeah, deadly serious.
You're shit at riding a push bike.
Yeah, I know, which is why I want to do it.
Anyway, I think it'd be different now you're going away for such a long period of time.
Yeah, I think
I don't know if you'd want to either, would you?
I don't know. Depends what it was. Like,
I think you like being at home as well. You like being in your own bed and that, and
I do,
like
but
sleeping in your tent like you were and all that.
I love that. I love sleeping in a tent. I don't like pooing in the woods, but I love sleeping in the tent, being outside like that. I mean, there's the Round the World by Electric that I would love to be the one that does that, but I think that probably would be, even if you were to do the long way round sort of three month route that they did, effectively right round the world like that.
Round the where?
The world. I think that would still probably be like 4 to 6 months. I think I haven't done any sums, but I'd imagine it would take you 4 to 6 months. That's too long for me. I don't think I want to be away for that length of time. Things like the Americas, that's probably a 3-monther, maybe a 4-monther. I don't know really. I mean, it's there's one part of it. I don't want you left on your own for that length of time. I don't want to be away for that length of time. But there's also...
You're worried I'll fill the house full of shit again.
Well, there is that. Yeah. There's, I mean, everywhere's full of your crap as it is. But there's the other part of it where, you know, now this is my job, so I can, you know, if I was to go away and do a trip like that, well, it's still going to pay... I'm still going to be making, you know, my salary effectively because that's my job now. So I haven't got that restriction that I had before, and most people do, and that, you know, you have to save up in order to do these trips. This would just be part of my job. So it does make it much more feasible, much more attainable, but it's just the part of being away for that length of time that I don't know if I'm ready myself to commit to a big trip again at the moment. And I think we're just in a different dynamic now than we were then. You know, we kind of, especially now, we're used to being around each other all the time, which we just weren't before.
You kind of came back, and after being back for a while, you're like, right, I want to go and do it again. I want to go and do something different. I want to finish this. I want to do that. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
And then I think you've kind of...
I was conscious of that. You know, I was conscious that I needed to give you some time, and you'd sacrificed a heck of a lot for me to do that.
It's a long time, but the fact that you were going before, I already knew about it, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, if you went again, then we'd have to talk about it, dear.
Yeah, that would need some serious buttering up, I think. Yeah. Next one, Marshall3498 at YouTube. Hi, Mrs. Teapot. Is the Volkswagen van I've seen in a few videos in the garage yours?
Yes, that's my Irene. Irene is much more my thing. Much more, definitely much more my thing. Sorry. Yes, much more my thing. I've had Irene for...
10 years. 9 years?
Yeah, maybe 8 or 9 years.
You bought her when you moved into my flat.
In your flat. Yeah. Probably 8 to 9 years.
Well, yeah, 2011.
Something like that. Possibly. Yeah, she's great fun.
Character, I think, is what it's known.
Yeah, I like her. Bruce doesn't like to drive her because she hasn't got power steering.
I just think it's a bit of a death trap. I'm very conscious that we have a hill outside. Anyone that lives round the Maidstone area will know we've got Bluebell Hill out the back here. And if you're going up Bluebell Hill, it's not quite sure whether it likes to be in first, second or third at times, is it?
Or reverse.
Yeah. Sometimes third or even second is too much and you have to bring it down into first.
You don't
and
have
then
to bring it
it's
to first.
screaming its nuts off. So you whack it into the higher gear and then that's too much for it. So it's a constant battle between those gears just to try and get it up the hill sometimes. But having said that, it is a very unique experience, isn't it? Driving her, people
She's good
wave,
fun.
people
yeah,
smile.
she turns a lot of heads.
Yeah.
It's I like the idea of it and I like doing it. It's just not very practical for you because you're obviously so muscular.
Thank you, dear.
But yeah, I enjoy it. I don't use it as much as I would like to. I was going to go away in November before lockdown happened again. Just for a week, just to punt around the Kent coast, really. And I'm quite happy with my own company as well, so I'd have no problem just jumping in and going off for a weekend. And we've talked about doing a trip, haven't we? Like you say, where we do it separate, whereas I go in the van and then you catch up with me somewhere along.
Yeah. And we can base ourselves somewhere and go out and do stuff on the bike. And,
yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be quite cool.
Yeah, we should look to doing it.
Yeah, definitely. Why not?
Heard
it here. We're doing it.
Where would you go?
Like you said, I want to explore the UK.
Yeah.
I want to explore the UK a lot more.
You'd like Whitby. I love Whitby.
I kind of think that once all this COVID, and I don't mean this with any disrespect to anyone that's been affected by it, but once all this bollocks is over and done with, and we can get back to some sort of normality, then I kind of think, well, I want to explore the UK more and give my custom to the hotels and B&Bs and shops and restaurants here as much as I possibly can, because I've already been away to the Canaries and I'll have other trips going to Spain and various other parts of Europe and stuff. But I want to do that for our own here in the UK as well.
You should
do you know what I mean?
Because you like when you go up to Scotland, riding around Scotland, don't you?
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
do trips up there
That'd
or
be
something.
cool. I've always had this thing, TeapotOne in my head. When I finished sorry to bring it up again, when I finished the world trip, then my idea...
He went around the world, he doesn't like to talk about it.
My idea when I started back at YouTube again, sort of end of 2016, 17, was I wanted to use social media to say, right, I am coming to whatever part of the country it's going to be, Leeds, Hull, Glasgow, Inverness, somewhere in Wales. I would just put up there and say, I'm coming to this part, who's around, who wants to meet up, what roads do you recommend riding? And then I'll meet up with people, ride the roads with them and have a chat with them about the biking scene and chat to them about the dealerships, chat to them about the biking shops, the CAFs, let's go to the CAFs and really start sort of exploring the biking world, really, all here in the UK, and sort of fly the flag a little bit for it. And it's not, I've tried to do it a couple of times and it's just never really worked yet. So that's something that I want to do a lot more, is when we can travel, get out there and really devour the UK. And, I've started using Simon Weir's books. He was on the podcast. So I started using his books and all his routes and roads and recommended places and stuff. And they're really good. So I'd love to do some sort of series based around all that. So watch this space. We could do that in the van. No reason why we can't.
Yeah, take the van as well.
Yeah. Cool.
I'll be 3
right.
days behind you.
It's a date. Next one, David Buchholtz. David Buchholtz. Mrs. Teapot, what's the one thing or phrase that Bruce says that tells you he's either not listening to a word you say, oh, you bugger, or he is and he doesn't care? Merry Christmas to you both.
Yeah. He does that a lot.
Well, you say that. You say it. It's a northern thing. Yeah. You do.
How's your English, Scotsman?
I'm from the east coast of Scotland. We speak the Queen's English, I think you'll find. What is that?
That's what you do. You just sit there and you go, yeah.
Is it the royal family? It's the royal family, isn't
Yeah.
it? It comes from the royal family. Have you ever watched that where they're all going, yeah, baby David, yeah. And that is exactly what Nikki sounds like. So I just take the mic.
I don't at all sound like that. I don't think I do. But that's what he does when he's getting bored. He just starts being a dick. Like that and going,
But apart from that, David, I am absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Matt Rowe Designs. How you doing, Matt? Mrs. Teapot, seeing as there is only one person in the house with a proper job, does Bruce do all the cooking and cleaning while you graft all day? Or does he just get to play with motorcycles all day? Come on, tell everyone.
Actually, he does do quite a lot. He does.
Thank you.
He's good at cooking. I'm too lazy with cooking.
Yeah.
I leave it too late till I'm starving, and then I just have to grab toast or something.
Beige. You like beige food,
Thanks.
don't you? Waffles and fish fingers with beans.
No, mushy peas.
Mushy peas, sorry. I'm the beans one, you're mushy peas. But you like that sort of beige food, don't you? Just processed freezer stuff. I'm not. You
Not
do.
really.
You do.
How often do I have
Yeah,
that?
but like your favourite meal is blooming like potato waffles
with fish fingers and mushy peas.
Yeah, I mean,
And what's wrong with that? We don't have it all the time.
Yeah, no, it's just it's
Do
not
we?
my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. I like proper food. I enjoy cooking. So yeah, I probably do most of the cooking, I would say.
Yeah, you do.
You're getting good at your Sunday roasts now.
Yeah.
They're good.
Chicken in a bag.
Chicken in a bag, yeah. As per cleaning, I would say it used to be me, but I've given up now, to be honest.
You're very good at bathrooms. I can't stand cleaning the bathrooms.
Yeah, I sort of gave up cleaning because I was just like, you never do it, and I'm buggered if I'm going to do it all the time.
I do Hoover a lot more now. We've got a cordless Hoover. I love it. I just get it out and stop bezzing around, don't I?
Yeah.
I like the Hoover. Hoovering and dusting, I don't mind.
Once or twice a year.
But bathrooms, I hate doing the
With
bathrooms.
all chin pube in it.
Yeah,
not
it's
nice.
disgusting.
Yeah.
You do that.
But yeah, I think we both pull our own weight, basically, Matt. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
I think we do. Yeah. You create all the mess and I clean it up. Yeah.
It works.
John Boycott. Easy question, possibly not an easy answer. What's your favourite memory of each other and why? Oh, wow, that's a good one. Favourite memory of each other and why? Wow.
Ooh, there's a difficult one.
It is, isn't it?
Favourite memory? I don't know.
There's quite a lot. I loved our wedding day.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That's genuinely a really, really good fun. I didn't think... it sounds horrible, but I didn't think it would be my bag. I didn't think it would be, for a bloke, it's almost like it's another day, isn't it? And it's your day, and we'll go through it. But,
thank you.
But you know what I mean, though. It's like for blokes, it's like, okay, we'd be happy going wherever and doing whatever. But you made. I mean, it was all down to you that day, and it really was a perfect day. It was a brilliant day.
Yeah, it went so quick though.
Yeah, we had a great giggle, we had a great laugh, we had so many friends and family with us.
It was brilliant.
Yeah. You bawled your eyes out as you walked down the aisle.
I know.
Remember that?
I should have turned around then.
But I've got good memories of. Do you remember when we went to see Kaz and Tom and Cameron?
Yeah.
That first time, and we did the trip up in Maine?
Into the mountains.
Yeah, and we did the Halloween thing in the haunted house.
Yeah, that was good.
That was really good. I loved that holiday as well.
Thailand was nice when I came to see you in Thailand. I like that.
Yeah, that was good. We got loads, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Favourite?
That's hard.
It is hard.
That is a hard question.
Yeah. I remember our first date.
So
remember
do I.
that. We'll not talk about that.
I picked a shit film.
Yeah, you did.
Wasn't it a remake of Rise of the Foot Soldier?
It was, yeah.
Or something.
It was right at that time.
I loved that Rise of the Foot Soldier, but the film we saw was
crap.
Awful.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's about 3 or 4 different versions of that film that all came out within a few years of each other, wasn't there? And the one we went to see was just dire.
Dog shit, wasn't it?
And I was like, it's the last time you're ever picking a film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, I
Better
don't know
think about that.
Single memory. Got loads of good ones. Right, Martin Yoxall. I'm going to have to go there. And you said you do your worst after all. Would you rather... Oh, there we go. Another one about the goat. Would you rather do a goat and no one knows, or not do the goat and everyone knows?
Well, I don't care what anybody thinks, but I'm not doing a goat.
Yeah. Yeah, me either. Horrible thing to do.
Yeah.
Scott Dobie. Mrs. Teapot, did you know Bruce went around the world on a motorbike, no less? Thanks, Scott. We've seen the videos and Bruce has been very honest about his struggles when he returned. From your point of view, what were some of the most positive and more challenging memories of the trip and his return from your point of view? All the best to you both. Be calm, be kind, be safe. Most positive and challenging.
Positive was seeing you doing what you enjoy, seeing you at the places that you loved, talking about the places that you loved, and not just that, the people that you met, I think, was a big part of the trip, because you met some incredible people.
Yeah.
I remember phoning up and speaking to you, be like, oh my gosh, you love so-and-so, and, you know, they're just really nice, and so many people took you in, and, you know, you made some great friendships.
Yeah, definitely.
So seeing you enjoying it and fulfilling your dream was a huge positive. Yeah. And what was the other bit?
What about most challenging memories of the trip and my return?
Yeah, well, we spoke about your return.
Yeah.
Challenging was being on the end of the phone. Like when Bruce was just at the end of his tether and just was in bits, and it's like, what do you say to somebody? You're not there. You can't really sympathise. It was that was quite hard, and not being there just to give you a hug and say, come on, get on with it. I just had to tell him that over the phone, didn't I?
Yeah,
so
you did.
Get on with it, you big girl. Yeah, that was hard. When he was struggling, when he was having his down days, which, to be fair, wasn't that many. No. Really.
No.
Most of the time he was upbeat, but when you did get homesick and you was just like, oh, I don't know if I should carry on or what.
And you do have days like that. There's no getting away from it. You do have them.
And not necessarily because there was bad stuff going on, but just some days they were hard. So you were tired and you'd had a hard day riding and done loads of miles, and you were just knackered, and you were sometimes you're just tired of it, and you were just like, oh, I just want to come home. And
yeah.
I was like, well, don't, because I won't let you in. Carry on, finish it. And you did.
Yep. No, you always knew what to say. Yeah. I never felt like you put any pressure on me at all when I was away. It was, you did the right thing. Well, not the right thing. You said the right thing for me anyway. Roger White. Hang on. No, sorry. David Clockton. Mrs. Teapot, you may have heard TMF has a butt plug. Has Mr. Teapot got any toys he keeps quiet about? P.S. Have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year. Oh,
if he does, he keeps that quiet. I don't know anything about them.
Just the bikes that she doesn't know about. That's my only toys. Yeah. Did you know about TMF butt plug?
Yeah, you showed me before. Has he always got one in the background or something?
I don't know if he does it all the time now, but yeah, he's some boy, Andy. You've got to meet Andy and Carol. They're great people. Roger White. How you doing, Roger? Roger's the chap that does all the merch.
Hi, Roger.
Merry Christmas to you both from us in Wales. Cheers, Roger. If you've got this far and you're still recording, bravo. Oh, how long have we been going? How long is that? Have a look here. An hour and a half. Ages, ages.
Need a refill.
Well, actually, that's what he says. We've probably found out by now, but who is replenishing the drinks? Because you normally bring the beer to me, don't you? You're nearly finished your snowball.
I really need a snowball. We might need a
little break.
Intermission.
Yeah. Also, Mrs. TeapotOne, how many times does Bruce mention his trip round the world during a 24-hour period? Pardon me. Or is there a secret code word now?
He gets a look.
I just get a look.
I just glare at him and...
Yeah. I know my place. Once again, Merry Christmas to you both and all from all of us here at TeapotOne Merch. Cheers, Rog.
Thank you.
If you've bought any merch, folks, then Roger is the guy that handles all that. Thank you very much over at the Influencer Store. Next one, Mike Phillipson. How you doing, Mike? Mike was one of the chaps, and Neil earlier. They came to the Canaries with me the other week. Be honest, which one of you did the bell end in the sand? I bet it was you, Mrs. Teapot.
Yep.
Bruce would never do such a thing. Yes, it was.
It was me.
That's why I married her, folks. Darren Bemrose. Hi, Mrs. TeapotOne. Bruce admits he is mechanically inept in the garage. How is he with DIY?
I was inept. His mechanics, I think.
Am I?
Well, what do you do?
Don't know. Never had to do any DIY.
Exactly.
I don't know.
He doesn't do much.
Well, we've not done anything yet.
No. Hi, Derek.
I can change a light bulb.
And then he moans.
I'm a busy man. Thanks, Darren. Cheers.
No, you haven't really done much DIY. You've not really had cause to have you, I suppose.
No, not as yet. No. Hello, Derek. This is Derek.
No, I think out in the garage you don't do a lot of mechanics either, do you?
Well, because they're all new bikes that I've got, so...
Yeah.
No, I don't really.
All the gear and no idea.
Yeah, that pretty much sums me up. Thanks. Jock Selling. Question for Mrs. Teapot. As I'm not able or allowed to grow a beard such as Bruce's, I'm wondering whether Bruce's big beard... Oh, my God. Oh, come on, Jock. Bruce's big beard tickles or itches on the inside of your... Oh, no, I'm not going there. Come on. Stay classy, Jock. Stay classy. Bikers España. Question. Did you know Bruce had a goat... Did you know Bruce had a goat fetish when you met him? Sheesh.
No, but I do now.
Love listening to the podcast whilst out with the dog. Keep up the great work and Merry Christmas to you both. Chris at Bikers España. Cheers, Chris. Thanks very much. Yes, she's well aware of the goat issue now. Darren Phillips. Has Mrs. Teapot ever thought about possibly joining Bruce on one of his shorter trips or even riding on your own bike by yourself? Well, we sort of covered that.
Yeah,
we covered that. Dale Hawks. Are you okay? Do you want to top up?
All right, for a minute.
Okay. Dale Hawks. How you doing, Dale? Hello, Mrs. Teapot, and welcome. So what's it really like living with the big man, and where would you most like to go on a trip on the back or on your own bike with Bruce? Merry Christmas, guys. Have a great one, and a blinding hogmanay. So what's it really like living with me?
It's all right.
It's all right?
It's all right. It's all right.
Take it or leave it?
I don't know, it's just like living with your best mate. We just take the piss and get on with stuff, really, don't we?
There's no dramas, is there, really?
No, we don't. We don't fall out. We don't.
Yes, we do.
We had one fallout. The biggest fallout we ever had was over how many eggs to put in an omelette.
Well, you said 2. What sort of omelette is 2?
That's enough for me.
Bollocks. Got to have at least 3 in an omelette.
He gets annoying when you want to do something. He wants everything done now or yesterday, like with the house, doing stuff. If he wants his office painted, he wants it painted now and he's got to do it and he has to go and get everything and do it there and then. He doesn't stop and think, I'll have a think about it, see which is the best way to do this. He just goes out and does it. And if he can't do it, then he gets a bit anxious and a bit like, I need to do it. I need to do it now. I've got this idea and it's going to work. I want to do it. I want to do it now. And then you get like all antsy and... Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
And then I have to sort of say, right, okay, fair enough. That's a good idea, but...
This is the way we're going to do it.
What about this? And what about this? No. And then I'll leave it with you, and then a couple of weeks later you'll come around and say, I've thought about it. Why don't I do it like this? I say, that's an amazing idea. Yes, do it like that.
She's talking out her arse.
You know it's the truth.
Paul Jai, Mrs. T. If you could go back in time to a time before you met Bruce, excuse me, would you still go to the place you first met or avoid 100%?
Going to work.
Yeah.
I would still have joined the job. I would have still joined the police, I think, at that time.
No, he's asking, because you asked me
Well,
out.
that was the place where it was.
Yeah,
at
no,
work.
but he's meaning, would you do things the same, as in, like, get together or not? I'm assuming that's what you meant, Paul.
Yeah, I would have probably got with you before you got that daft idea about going around the world,
I'd have still gone.
which I'd never heard the end of. You wouldn't have talked you out of it by then.
No, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have
yeah.
talked me out of that.
Well, I would have gone with you then.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Argument number 2 coming. You asked me out.
I did ask you out.
Yeah. It's pushy broad.
Yeah. No, I'd do it the same. I don't think I'd change anything.
Mm-hmm.
Would you?
No, I don't think so. It was weird because I wasn't looking for anyone at all. I had no intention of settling down.
Stay single, stay strong.
Stay single, stay single, stay strong.
Snakes with tits.
Snakes with tits. Yes, you know, I had no intention of
He
settling
was
down
so
at all.
happy on his own. He tells me this all the time.
I had a bachelor. Honestly,
I was so
all the lads out
happy.
there, or even the ladies, those that have been single and enjoying it. I had the bachelor pad, the massive TV, the full Sky package. Went where I want when I wanted. Spent my money on whatever I wanted. Rode my bike.
You never had any money.
As much as it was, because I was buying stuff that I wanted and riding my bike and going places.
You didn't have a bike then, did you?
Yeah, I did.
When did you get your bike? You'd only had it
2008.
a couple of days. Yeah, a couple of years
Yeah,
before
but I'd
we
done
met.
about 100,000 miles in those 2 years. Lived on my bike. Yeah, so I had no intention of settling down. It just wasn't on my radar in the slightest. And in fact, I'd ran a mile at any opportunity when that came along. And yeah, you just got your claws out and your big net and snagged me. And before I knew it, that was it.
Never
Weird.
looked back, have you, dear?
It was weird. I remember that first date. And I remember thinking, oh well, that's that then. I've told you that before.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking, almost like, shit, that's the single days done then. And I've never been happier, dear.
No, you haven't, have you?
No. We have nearly finished the Patreon questions. Bob Hawley. Hello, Mrs. T. Of all of his riding mates, including but not limited to TMF, Mr. Fish, Dickie Vegas, etc., and Lamb Chops, who's most likely to get Bruce into a bit of trouble out on the road and why? And who would you depend on to get him out of it?
See, that's difficult because I don't actually know them.
So of the ones that you do know then, so like Turner and Woody and Mooley and Si and all them.
Ooh, crikey.
So who's most likely to get me into trouble?
Turner,
To get me into trouble?
probably.
And who's most likely, who would you depend on to get me out of it?
Mully.
Mooley?
Yeah.
Joe, I think that's probably a fair assessment, actually. Yeah.
Because Turner's very much like Hugh. He's like, let's do this. Yes, it's a great idea.
Yeah, he
Go
is,
do
yeah,
it now.
yeah.
Doesn't even think about it.
But he's also, well, they all are really dependable.
Yeah, they are.
You know, I would have each and every one of them either together, either collectively or solitary. I'd have any of them, you know, I'd count on them to have my back, definitely.
Yeah, they're all really good friends. But
Yeah,
I've never
great
met
lads.
any of the vlogging guys,
The
have I?
vloggy lot. No, you've not actually, have you?
Not met any of them.
They're a good bunch. Good bunch. Yeah. But I think you nailed that, actually. I think you nailed that.
I don't know who else.
Turner, if you're listening, you're the one that's going to get me into the bother. And Mooley's the guy, if I have ever done a technical video
And broke it.
where I'm installing stuff, well, I'm saying me, if there's another
doesn't
guy
know how
with
to
me
do it,
who's
he'll go to
installing
see
it and I'm
Mooley.
standing there talking shit and filming, then the guy who's installing it is Mooley. Top bloke. Last one of the Patreon questions. Angad Singh. Mrs. T, please tell us about the van and what plans you have for it. Merry Christmas to the both of you. Wow, we've done that one, Angad. So, the van, what is it?
It's a Type 2 Volkswagen camper van. It's a Danbury conversion. 2006. Imported from Brazil. It's my Brazilian.
Say nothing.
Yeah. She's got a little grill.
She's all kitted out, isn't she?
Stove, fridge, sink, rock and roll bed, pop top roof. Yeah, she's good fun.
She's air cooled as well, isn't she?
Yeah, she's one of the last of the air cooleds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite basic to drive. 4 gears, like no ABS, no engine really, no power steering.
No.
Personally speaking, that's where I would spend the money. I would upgrade the engine and the sort of mechanics of it to make it a better drive even. I genuinely think you'd use it more if it was a little bit easier for you to drive.
Do you reckon?
I think you would, yeah. Because even you admit it is.
I've driven it down to Cornwall.
I know you have. Yeah, I know you've done it
and stuff, and.
But you said yourself it's
tiring.
It's
a long drive, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know where we're going to go next when we get out.
Anywhere.
Probably just somewhere local, even just to go out like.
Go out to the coast.
Just local, just for like a weekend. This is why we want to get a dog, isn't it? Put the dog in the van and off we go for the weekend. Did you see Beryl look at you?
Yeah. We want dogs, but I want big dogs. I've always wanted a Great Dane and something like a Bull Mastiff or a St Bernard or something like that. 2 big dogs is what I've always wanted. And we want to rescue, but all the rescue places are shut at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, but we will get dogs.
The time will be right when it's right.
Right, well, that's all the Patreon questions done. We've battered through them massively quick. I hope we haven't rushed them for you folks, but I think we've
I think it's probably my fault, I'm afraid, because I don't know anything about bikes.
Well, there were quite a few duplicates.
Bikes. It's like, oh.
So next we'll move on to Instagram, but do you want to have a quick break to get yourself some splosh?
To snowball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you in a bit.
You minga.
And we're back. Right, well, we smashed the old Patreon ones. We'll move over onto Instagram now. So that's at TeapotOne Insta. If you're not following, head on over there. And what's your Instagram, dear? Do you want people to follow you on Instagram?
I don't really use it, do I?
She doesn't really use it. I'll not bother putting it in then.
Sorry.
First one. Dougie. At McWebster1968. That's Dougie Loyal.
Oh.
Will there be a TeapotOne Insta tuck shop?
That tuck shop was amazing.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was really amazing.
Tell 'em.
Oh, it's just a cupboard I acquired at work. Bought a lock. Filled it full of treats with an honesty box. Raising money for charity, and it was great to start with, wasn't it? It did really well to start with.
You were actually probably raising more than I was at one point
I raised over
for the charities.
I think it was about £2,300 altogether.
Just off of sweets and crisps sold to coppers.
Yeah, and then it got a little bit dishonest, shall we say?
Yeah,
and not so many people were putting in the pot. So let's knock that on the head.
That's a shame.
So they were the good days. The free tuck shop.
Certainly were. I hope you're enjoying life, Dougie.
Yeah. Hi,
retired now. Good man. Good man. The restorative mum. It's my mate Linda. I used to go to uni with her. What's his best dance move?
Oh, gosh, anything. When he's had a few beers, he dances quite a lot, don't you? You can't get him off the dance floor.
Anyone from my uni days is well aware of that. Yeah.
He won't dance, though, until he's had something to drink. You can't get him up before he's had a skinful.
I can't think of anything worse than dancing.
That Christmas party we went to in Margate with work.
Yeah.
Oh,
when I tried to steal the governor's car.
Yeah, but you weren't trying to break in and steal it. You were trying to lift it and move it to the other side of the road in your kilt.
Yeah, there is a little switch that goes in my head that I'm very self-aware, I think, when I'm sober. and I like to be the grey man. Just sort of, I don't want to be on the dance floor. I don't want people looking at me, which is weird because I also have no issue getting up in front of crowds and talking. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. Like doing the presentations and stuff. This doesn't bother me. I enjoy it, but I won't dance.
No, not at all.
But I seem to hit this. Something goes when I've had maybe 5 or 6 beers. There's a switch goes in my head that's just like, I want to boogie now. Let's go. And then I won't stop.
You won't get off the dance floor.
I'm there all
and you're
night.
Trying to keep me on the dance floor, and my feet are killing me.
And you try and lead.
Sit down. I can't lead. You just tell me off because I just don't do what you want me to do on the dance floor. You want to just fling me about, and I'm just like...
Because you just go rigid. And it's like, let me lead, and you won't let me lead.
Do you know how heavy you are when you step on my feet?
I don't step on your feet. I'm like Fred Astaire, me. But yes, good days those were, Linda. Good days. We always used to, a load of us always used to end up from the student halls, Bear Hall and off Sucky Hall Street, and we used to go to the garage, that club that I used to work in.
The one you did the doors on?
Yeah.
That you never mentioned.
Yeah. Well, we were always in there, everybody. Gordy and Del Boy and everyone. Great times. Captain Sarin, Rajatne, Mrs. Teapot. Question: does Mr. Teapot make a decent sandwich?
Huh.
I can't believe you're even thinking about it.
Why?
I make a great sandwich.
I don't know if you've made me many sandwiches though.
Bollocks.
No, because you have all those wrap things, and I don't like those wrap things that you have very much. And you always put mayonnaise.
What did I make you this morning?
Garlic mayonnaise.
Yeah, not for you. You don't like any of that.
No, exactly. And
beige. No salt, no pepper.
You did do a nice bacon sandwich this morning.
What about yesterday?
Yeah, that was the same bacon sandwich.
Yeah. I never make her stuff. Never. Never.
No, I thought he meant like a BLT or something like that, a big fancy sandwich.
If I make a sandwich, I'll make you a sandwich. You enjoy it.
Do I?
I'm deeply hurt, people. I am deeply hurt.
I can't remember how many sandwiches you've made me.
Yeah, we're wasting away, aren't we? We're wasting away. Chutney, don't worry about it, mate. I make a good sandwich. You're welcome to one of my sandwiches, no problem. Laster 300. All right, Sarge. Is he Sarge or Governor now?
I think.
Sarge, how you doing? You guys rock. Thank you very much. The real Matt Barker. Nikki, can you convince Bruce to put the hot water in first, then the milk at the end? This buffoonery of putting the milk in first is just pure probationer error at best. Hope you're both keeping well. Big up from one Tier 4 household to another.
Well, I'm a milk last. Bruce is a milk first.
But, come on, tell them.
He does make a nice cup of tea.
Don't knock it till you've tried it, people. Don't knock it till you've tried it.
My reasoning is that you can tell how strong it is. You make it nice and strong, and then you add the milk afterwards to what you want. Sometimes the tea bags don't mash properly if you put the milk in first. If the milk gets into the water, the tea bag doesn't mash properly.
You know why? Because people put too much milk in first. You put a tiny splash of milk in. You hardly need any milk if you put it in first.
So why bother putting any in?
Because I'm Scottish and I want my money's worth from the milk.
Well, you can put some more milk in afterwards.
No, you don't.
Said
you
it
don't
doesn't
need
make
the
much
milk.
Difference.
It does make a difference. What you do is you put the tiny splash of milk in
number
first.
Two.
Yeah, number 3, I believe, because we had one earlier. Tiny splash of milk in first, right? Then you put in your sugar, your sweetener. Then you put the tea bag so it's resting on the top. Add your water. Let it stew for a bit, and then you squeeze the tea bag to your heart's content till you get the colour that you most desire. And you tell me I make the best cup of tea.
I didn't say the best.
You did.
I said you make a good cup of tea.
You lie like a cheap watch.
I didn't say you make the best. Rewind it.
I make the best brew.
Rewind it.
Yeah, not now. But you've told me off air, privately, your innermost thoughts. You've told me that I make the best cup of tea.
Have I really?
Ever.
Have I really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's just so I want you to keep making it.
You should write a book on tea making.
I've just said that.
She did. Anyway.
What's that smoky tea that I like?
Oh, don't know. Minging.
See, you don't even know what it's called, so you can't be that.
It's not.
Good
It's
on
like
tea.
it's like somebody put a smoky twig in the cup. It's horrible.
It's nice.
It's not. Nick Desmo, do you still talk about the job? I don't.
No,
I don't
not so
really.
much.
No.
About the people
Yeah.
that you used to work with.
Yeah, I miss the people.
Miss the clowns, but not the circus.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
No, you don't really. It was weird because I said to you, didn't I, about 3 weeks after you left, I said, how are you? Like, seriously, how are you? Are you okay? And you said, yeah, but I don't ever feel like I was in the job.
No.
And you'd done that job for 18 years, and after 3 weeks, it didn't even feel like you was a copper.
Yeah, it was really weird. Yeah, really weird. I think because...
Obviously because of how it ended, but...
Yep. Because of how it ended and how I'd been feeling for a few years leading up to it, I think I'd resigned myself that it wasn't the job I joined anymore anyway, and it was just a job for me now, like just a job, not the job, just a job. So, you know, I didn't regard myself as a copper really anymore, to be honest. So it wasn't a big leap to leave that to do what I'm doing now. It's just now I'm doing what I enjoy doing.
Sometimes you talk about bits, but not...
Yeah, there's bits of it.
Not very often.
And the experiences, you know, there's the people and you know what it's like,
Yeah.
and the things you get involved with that you just don't... It's normal people don't get presented with situations like that, do they? And I do miss that. I do miss that unique aspect of the job. But we rarely got that in our current role, you know.
No.
In the diplomatic protection side of it, you're not really a copper, so to speak. You know,
Yeah, you are.
you are, but
You
you're
are,
not.
but you're just not dealing with the public. You're not dealing with the...
You're not answering
You're not
call
seeing the bad
999
side
calls. You're not
of everything and
Yeah.
seeing people at their worst, are
Yeah.
you? It's not...
It's a different
Not
side
like
of
when
corporate.
you're frontline. Yeah.
Yeah. I miss my best days in the job were the TSG days, the territorial support days. You know, the riot police. They were my best days in the job, and I miss the people and the situations and the job as it was then. But it's just not that job anymore. Yeah. What about you
What?
with the job? You happy where you are?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you got a good number.
Yep. Quite happy, thank you very much.
Definitely. Snowbike Mike. Mega, I can't wait for this one. Cheers, Mike. I hope you've been enjoying it. Kindred Spirit. How does she put up with your biking and YouTube obsession and the fact she never sees the bottom half of your face?
I've forgotten how many chins he's got actually under there.
More every day.
No, it doesn't bother me. It's nice to see that he's happy doing what he's doing, and not under that cloud that he was in towards the end of work, because that was having a big impact.
Yeah.
You were getting really mardy. You probably think you weren't, but you were.
I didn't realise how stressed
quite
I was.
snappy.
Yeah.
And yeah, a bit horrible sometimes.
Yeah.
But then I'm the kind of person that I can tell when you're like that. We're quite good like that, aren't we? Because I get like that. If I'm tired and hungry, I get really mardy and snappy. So Bruce just gives me a cup of tea and something to eat, or tells me to go and have a nap, and I'm all right.
Yeah.
And you're the same. That was like when I can see you're in one of those moods, then I would just leave him alone. Just let him get on with it. Don't ask him any questions until he comes out of it. But you do get like that, don't you?
Yeah, no, yeah, I do. Yeah.
And you were getting like that quite a lot towards the end of the job.
Yeah.
And it was difficult. It was probably more the fact that you didn't know what was going on and that everything was just taking so long.
There was just no... I hate... I am a firm believer that there's a need for process, you know, and I think there's a need for law and order, there's a need for process, and there's a need for things to be in a certain way. What really gets my goat is when there's no logic to it. Like this COVID thing for me is a prime example. I don't see the logic in it, and it annoys and frustrates me if there's a situation where I can't understand why it is the way it is, or why people are doing what they're doing, then that annoys me. I don't like being out of control. I don't like not understanding a situation, and that whole DPS bollocks at the end was just, annoyed me.
Yeah, so that was difficult.
Hi. Oh, and the fact that you never see the bottom half of my face, well, that's basically the beard, isn't it? We covered that at the start.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't mind the beard, do you?
No.
I think it would be weird for me not to have a beard now.
When we look back on photos and you haven't got a beard, you look younger.
Yeah, I look a lot younger.
Yeah. But then you was also a little bit lighter in those pictures.
Yeah. But I don't have a chin. You know, even when I was like at my fighting weight, I don't have a chin. So I've
Did you have a fighting weight?
Yes, dear. Before I met you.
It's I don't cook, so it's not me.
I've got a bald head, basically. So it's, I don't have a chin. Right, next one. Motor Rev UK. How you doing, gents? If you could change the channel name to something that would incorporate Bruce's personality, what would you call it?
Bellend.
I knew you were going to say that, or dickhead. Yeah. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
Thank you, dear. Very good, very good. Official Mr. Fish. How you doing, John? How much sexier is Bruce now he's growing his hair?
I was just talking
Fish
about
is the
this
one that I'm doing
earlier.
this with.
Oh my gosh. It's awful.
You love it.
Oh, no, I hate it. He's going to look like Bill Bailey with a beard.
It is getting a bit ridiculous, I've got to admit.
He's a little bit like those Play-Doh toys where you put the Play-Doh and then you squeeze the bottom up and it just grows straight up.
Yeah, it's a bit daft at the moment.
Before he can comb it over.
John's got a full-on, like, proper head of hair. He looks like the top of this microphone. Yeah. John, I might have to renege on this, mate. I don't know if I can go to April 1st, because I'm going to have to start the filming fairly soon for this Amazon thing, and I can't turn up like this. So I think we had a wager on it. I'll have a chat with you, and I might have to make the donation. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, you can go till April. It's only 3 months. If they start filming, then just deal with it then.
Yeah, we're supposed to film in February, I think. I think we're starting in February. I think. Teeter Tower. I think that's Pete. I think that's Pete Power. Oh, sorry. Maybe shouldn't have said your name. I think that's Pete. Have you taken your test yet?
Nope.
She will. Don't worry. Salmon and Sons. Right, that's when it all went pear-shaped and the and the head shed issued the ultimatum. Did you swear as much as I did when I found out? How did you handle the whole ultimatum thing at work?
Well, it was entirely up to you, wasn't it? I mean, yeah, it's a difficult one to answer, really. But in a way, I think I was secretly glad as well, because it made you go. Yeah. Because you had been talking about it for so long and making a go of this YouTube stuff and your tours and everything. Yeah. And you were just, I don't know, there was just something that was just, I think because of the house and everything, it was just a big step for you to go, right, yep, okay. When you were in such a secure job with that guaranteed income, which pretty much just covered everything, didn't it? So never had to worry about it. But for you to make that decision was quite difficult. And obviously they sort of made it for you, I think, in the end. And I do honestly think it did you a favour. Yeah, I do. My recollection was I remember it being you were the first one to actually come out and say, just go. Just go for it. And I was fed up of you being miserable as well. Yeah. And that was actually a massive relief for me, because I was just like, oh, wow, if you're thinking it, okay then. But I said from the start that whatever happened, I would support you. Yeah, you did. If But my only stipulation was that you was honest. And if you weren't making enough money, then I could do more, you know, to bump it up.
Yeah.
But you would have to be totally honest. I didn't want you to get into the situation where it wasn't going as well as you hope, and then you weren't bringing in the money that you hope.
Yeah.
And then we were going to start struggling. I just didn't want you to end up getting into debt or anything like that. And your pride not telling me. That was my main worry. Yeah. Which is why I wanted you to be honest. But then you sort of said yourself, well, if it comes to it, I will just have to get a job.
Yeah. Get a job doing anything.
Pardon me, just something part-time,
Yeah.
And I think once you got your head around that, you were happy. But then once you actually came out, once it was all done and dusted, you were just like, right, let's go. And you just threw yourself into it 110%, which is what you do anyway, which is what we expected you to do. I think anybody that knows you would expect you to do that. Yeah,
it's a massive incentive when you sort of cast yourself adrift. Not cast yourself adrift, that sounds melodramatic. But when you put yourself in a position, when it's your choice to put yourself in a position, and it's down to you, effectively, you know, and I kind of feel I think I thrive in that sort of situation where it is down to me and I've got to do it. Yeah. You know, I can be really, I've said this before, I can be really lazy, where I can literally just sit and do nothing. But conversely, when that switch goes and I've got to do something, then if I've got to do 24-hour days, then I'll do that. And just, you know, you just do it, don't you?
Yeah.
You do what needs to be done. And the difference now is that I enjoy everything I'm doing, so it doesn't feel like work.
No.
Really.
But then there are some days when you do need to just have a break away from it, just to have a, you know, you just get knackered, you just run yourself down. Yeah. And then I just say, just leave it. Just go off and do something, go out on your bike for an hour or just do something, and you're like, I've got so much to do. And I'm like, make a list.
Yeah. Lists.
Write it down.
Anyone out there, and I'm assuming it's probably mostly blokes because the ladies that I know tend to be list orientated.
How many ladies do you know that list orientated?
Well, most women out there seem to be very logical. The ones that I've met seem to be very logical and like a list. And as a bloke, you know, I used to just think, don't be ridiculous, I don't need to make lists, I know what I'm doing. Nah, lists are a game changer, definitely. I'll give you that. They are a game changer.
Is that taping?
Yeah.
Good, just checking we got that on tape.
I'll send you a copy.
Thanks.
R1 Soul S10. All right, Pete, before we agree on a camping trip with the badly shaven bear, does he snore?
Yes.
Yes, I do. So do you.
Yes, I do snore, apparently.
So do you.
I don't know, but I do.
Yeah, I do snore. Yeah, massively. But, you know.
But the thing is, if you're snoring and I wake you up, you'll just roll over and you're still really asleep. Whereas if I'm snoring and you wake me up, then I'm awake for ages, so I can't get back to sleep. I hate that about you. You can just wake up and then just roll over and go straight back to sleep.
I am one of those annoying people, aren't I?
Yeah, I
can literally fall asleep in seconds.
If I'm awake, I'm awake. I have to get up. I can't even have a lie-in now.
No, I know. How do you do? Oh, this is nice.
6:30, I get up.
Ooh. Innocent Gun. Nice. Oh, that's lovely. Bourbon Barrel Scotch Ale. Nice. Very nice.
I don't know where I got that one from.
I think this might be Struan re-motorcycled. I think this might be one that Struan sent down in that package. If it is, cheers Struan, top beer, like that. Yeah, you can't lie in anymore, can you? You're just up and at it at like blooming 6 a.m. every day.
Yep. Even on my days off.
Another one by R1 Soul. Can you pay Bruce a compliment because we might be battering his pride now? Thanks, Pete. Thank you. Nice to know you're thinking of me, brother.
Oh, he's got a good beard.
Thank you. I do have a nice beard. Sorry. The Bra and the Brave podcast. Lisa! Oh, she's just saying she's looking forward to it. The Bra and the Brave podcast. That is a cracking podcast, that, folks. I was actually on it about a year or two ago. Well worth checking out. I'll leave a little link down below. Motor MA77. How quick is he at doing the dishes? Excuse me.
He's good at doing the dishes.
I am.
And he shouts at me because I don't let him use the dishwasher. It's full of crisps and Christmas nibbles at the
Blood,
minute.
sweat and tears paying for this new bloody kitchen, and I'm not allowed to use a dishwasher.
I don't like them. I don't like how it makes
You never do the dishes. It's me that does it all the time anyway.
That's not true.
Okay, you might do it once a week.
That's not true. The glasses go all squeaking, creaky, and then your plates go all funny, and I don't like how it makes your cutlery feel. I don't like it.
Yes. No, another one from R1 Soul from Pete. How does she cope with long grey pubes in her teeth from that face? Doesn't come anywhere near me.
Minging.
Muzz R6. Yoko ruined the Beatles, I'm just saying. It's about the other halves getting involved with things.
Okay.
No, I'm glad we're doing this.
It wasn't my idea either to
Yes,
come on.
it was.
Because you're making it sound like I asked to come on. I didn't ask.
I didn't have any
suggested.
guests, and you said,
because you said,
"Can I come on?"
I said, "Who's your podcast on this week?" He says, "Oh, I haven't got anybody." I said, "Well, why not?" And you went, "Well, because I've been away." I was like, "Well, okay. So you're just not going to do one?" And you said, "No, I'm not going to do one." And I said, "Well, why don't you just do one with me?"
I've got 3 big guests who've all said they'll come on, but none of them can confirm any dates at the moment. So I was hoping one of them would be coming on.
Sorry to disappoint you.
No, I don't mean it like that. But as it turned out, this week there was nobody lined up, and obviously I didn't have anyone last week because I was away in the Canaries. And yeah, and you just said, "Well, can I come on?"
Yeah, I said, "Well, why don't you just interview me?"
It was something like, "Why don't you do me?" I think you said.
No, I never said that. I'd never say that.
Yeah, that's true. Gypsy Creonti. What did Bruce do to be allowed to ride around the world? Serious question. How can I convince my family to let me go? Hope is well for you both. Well, we kind of covered that.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah. You just got to be honest. Be honest with your family. Tell them what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what your plans are. Try and involve them if you can. And you've got to remember, it sounds great. You know, it sounds brilliant to, I'm going to go away and I'm going to do this trip, I'm going to ride around the world, be away for like a year, 2 years, whatever. But it's not all roses, you know, it's not all sweetness and light. If you have a bad day normally in life, you're going to have a bad day when you're out there, and it'll get amplified as well at times. So don't think it's just going to be one great joyous journey, because it won't. It is a proper roller coaster.
And it's expensive.
And it is expensive. You can definitely do it a lot cheaper than I did, but you'll have to sacrifice certain things, do things a little bit differently. But I think honesty is probably the best, definitely the best policy in life, I think. But yeah, I mean, we're in a different situation, aren't we? Because A, I already had this planned when we met, and B, well, we wouldn't
I'd
have
already done it before him.
Yeah. And we wouldn't have got together if you were the type of person to say, "No, I don't want you doing that," then we just wouldn't have got together.
No.
We never would have lasted, because I wouldn't. That, you know, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and if you didn't want that to happen, then we just wouldn't have got together. So
No. But we don't stop each other doing anything in general, do we?
No,
if
we
you
don't,
want to go off and do something, you'll say, "Do you want to come?" And I'm like, "No, thanks."
But
and
it's
vice
give and take.
versa.
No, give and take.
And I'd never stop you riding your bike. That's like you saying to me, "I can't go to a car boot sale." It's never going to happen. Is it?
You shit shop, yeah. Yeah, definitely. You know, it's give and take, innit? You've got to make time for each other as well as making time for yourselves. Absolutely. going around the world is maybe stretching that a little bit. You know, that is going to take some serious dinners and some serious gifts, I think. But if it's something you really want to do, you'll figure out a way of doing it. Ed Kerry. Oh, superb. This will be lovely to hear. Question-wise, what has been the impact of Bruce's venture been on you, Mrs. Teapot? We haven't had that yet, have we?
What is the impact of what, your around the world adventure?
I'm assuming it's around the world. Now? I'm assuming it's the whole teapot thing. The whole teapot.
I don't know any different, really.
Thing. I suppose not, no. But it wasn't like this to begin with, was it?
No.
It was just me, really. And now it's sort of grown into a thing now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose it's like a brand, isn't it? I hate to say that, but it is.
Yeah, but we've just sort of grown with it, I suppose, haven't we? Because it's always been there right from the start.
How do you find it if we're out and about and people come up and like say,
I think it's funny.
Are you Teapot?
I think it's funny. I think, oh, here we go. Here we go. I'll just go in and pay for the petrol.
It does tend to be at petrol stations, doesn't it? Yeah.
Or just randomly. We've had it randomly. People have said hello, haven't they? And
people turned up at the house, isn't
there?
there?
Yeah, and stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice that people appreciate what you're doing. And when
genuine.
I sort of see the other side of it, when I see how much work you're putting in and how much effort it takes planning stuff and all that kind of thing behind the scenes that you don't see, it's nice to see that there are people that appreciate it and enjoy it. And I know I don't watch it, but I'm not. It's not a bad thing about you saying that against you.
No, I know.
It just doesn't interest me. Yeah. I did enjoy some of your around the world videos because you're off having an adventure, but I'm not really interested in one bike from another test riding.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? It's like me taking you to the car boot sale. You don't enjoy it. You couldn't think of
anything. I'd feign interest.
You would just go, yes, that's great. Can we go now?
Yes, dear. Yeah.
Can we go now?
Where's the tuck shop?
And that's the same thing. It's just not, you're just not interested. But it is nice. It is nice to see how it's grown and evolved into what it is. Because it has evolved, hasn't it? Quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
It's changed. But this is...
Sorry.
But this is more what I think how you wanted it to be, isn't it now? It's sort of more... You want to do more interaction with people, more stuff with people. Like you enjoy going out riding. You enjoy riding with people that enjoy it as much as you do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And that's probably what you were saying earlier about how you want to go and see people in their own towns and meet up with them and just go on their local ride outs and see where they go, see what parts they enjoy and what roads they enjoy and stuff like that.
And I want to get better at the whole photography and cinematography thing, you know, and I want to see how, like a lot of the other moto vloggers that I go and meet, like TMF and Lamb Chops and Richie Vida, Mr. Fish and people like that, I want to go and see how they do stuff to see what's different to how I do, because I can't say what I'm doing is the best way to do it because my editing takes forever. So I would like to see how other people do it and how they speed up the workflow and increase the quality of the sound and the video and there's lots I want to do, and I like meeting other people and seeing how they do stuff to see if you can learn from that. Yeah. Next question then. I think we've answered that one, did we? David Joyce, 59. Mrs. Teapot, how do you allow Mr. T so much time away on his bike, and where can I get one like you? Or are you glad to get him out of your hair?
I don't mind him going out on his bike, to be honest. He gets moody if he doesn't. You can tell when he's not being able to get out on his bike. After a while, sometimes you just need to go and get out and have a ride, don't you?
Yeah, you just turn around to me and say,
I'd say,
go out on your
for
bike.
God's sake, will you just go out and have a ride for an hour? Oh, I've got so much to do. I've got too much editing to do. Just go out. And you'll just go out for an hour and you'll come back and you're like, right.
An hour?
And you get back on it. But you do, don't you? You just go out and, you know, you need to do that sometimes. And sometimes it's difficult because you've got so much editing and stuff to do. You forget that you still need to go out and just feel it, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. There's been like, I've been literally sat at the desk for like 2 weeks and suddenly thought, I haven't ridden a bike in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In fact, even 3 weeks, I think, at some point.
And sometimes I say to you, just go out and have a ride.
Yeah.
Just go out, phone the boys, go out and have a ride. You're like, oh, I can't, I've got too much to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then you will do it eventually, and then you come back and you feel better, and then you think, oh, I should have listened to them and gone sooner. Yeah, you do. But when you couldn't ride, like when after your accident, when you had your shoulder and that, yeah, you get really frustrated and you get boxed in. You feel like you... I can't describe it. You know what I mean?
I think I've got... My mum always said that she thought she had gypsy blood because she liked that feeling of moving all the time. She didn't like being like penned in. And as I get older, I'm definitely like that.
Yeah, you get cabin fever when you've been indoors too long.
Yeah.
So it does him good when he goes out. He's a nicer person when he comes back.
Yeah. Next one, Sparrow4994. Looking back at all the great trips Bruce has completed, which one would you most like to have joined him on and why? I think we've had similar one at the start, didn't we?
Yeah. Trips that you've been on.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to go back to the TT. I really enjoyed that. I know it's not really a trip, but it's what we did at the end of your trip, didn't we? And it was, I'd booked that blooming campsite, which was fine if it was dry, but it basically chucked it down for most of the time.
And I slept in the shower block.
Yeah, it wasn't the most comfortable, but I really enjoyed it. It was a lovely island, lovely place to visit.
Well, I'm going back with Fulch.
Yeah, I know, dear.
Well, come with us. It's 2022 now that we're going.
Yeah, but are you camping?
Probably. It's 2 years away, so we've got loads of time to organise something.
I don't want to camp again. The thing is, if we take Irene, you're there for like 2 weeks because you can't get back on the ferry, can you?
Well, 2 weeks in the Isle of Man, fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed that. I don't know where else I'd fancy going. Like I say, probably part of Norway. Norway.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear that about Norway. I didn't realise you wanted to do that. Well, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll go. Beautiful place. John.Skeet. Hi, if Bruce asked for 1 year to go around the world again, would the answer be goodbye or I'm coming too? So ideal world, you don't need to do the work here. And we don't need to worry about the mortgage and stuff. It's just, would you come?
Yes, but I'd probably do it intermittently. I don't want to be away from home for that long again.
Well, fair enough.
I like being here. Who's going to look after the cats?
No, good point. Good point. Pack them up in the van and come with me.
No, I'd do it in bits probably. I'd come out and see you in the bits that I want to see.
She's a good girl. It's not a no. That's not a no. You heard it here.
But you'd have to pay for me.
Yes, dear. Boil stew. Mrs. Teapot, was it your trip out to meet with Bruce when he was on the round the world trip that convinced him to embrace the beard, as he hated it up till that point? I didn't hate the beard.
Did you?
No, I didn't hate my beard. Don't think I did.
There was a time when it was a funny length and you didn't like it.
Yeah. You have to get through the itchy phase, which is probably up to like maybe a centimetre long. And then after that, it's okay. Beard oil is a lifesaver for sure. But
it's never bothered me. People have said, haven't they? They thought you'd get rid of it for the wedding. You're going to make him shave it off for the wedding.
That's right.
I was like, well, no. Why would I do that?
I can't imagine not having it now, to be honest.
To be honest, he looks worse with that long hair on his head. What little he can
You
grow.
love this. You love this,
It gets
don't
on
you?
my nerves. It's horrible.
Pointer Andrew, question to Mrs. TeapotOne. Do you say nationals when you see the signs as well? As I find myself saying it now too after watching the vlogs.
God, but he does it in the car, drives me nuts.
There's a t-shirt available now too, dear.
Yes, dear, I've seen it. If I'm driving and Bruce is in the passenger seat, he is so annoying. He gets bored.
It's all
He
coming out
starts
now.
messing with all the buttons, and he flicks my air freshener around, and he just he's annoying. He's an idiot.
I'm perfect, I think is the word you're looking for.
And then he goes nationals, and then he'll sit there and go pretend he's riding his bike. He's like a total tube.
Knee down round the corner.
Yeah. Dick. Yeah.
You're painting a bad picture, dear.
I don't say it. I don't know.
She does. Cabby and Collins. Bruce, nice to see Mrs. Teapot, by the way. I'm not a stalker, but I notice in a lot of your recent vids you're riding all the roads I blast along. Do you live near me? I'm in Maidstone.
Yes.
Yes, we do. I enjoy telling the wife that's so-and-so road. Love the podcast, by the way. Who'd have thought 2 to 3 hours of absolute bike-related nonsense could be so riveting. Keep up the good work.
Except for this one's going to hardly be bike-related at all. Sorry.
Andy, we are just near Bluebell Hill, basically. Just outside Maidstone. 5TUWR8. What is the message in the sand really what Mrs. Teapot thinks of you, Belland?
Yeah. Massively.
Yes, she doesn't mince her words. PJCT3. Excellent. Who's drinking what? Well, you're on a snowball. And I'm now on an Innis and Gun Stout. It's very nice.
I would normally have gin.
Yeah, I'm
are
a big gin head.
Fan. I like gin. But it's Christmas. If you can't have a snowball at Christmas, when can you? Or 4.
True.
What did you think? Did you like it?
It's sweet. It's really sweet.
It's quite an
Really
unusual
sweet.
taste. Bruce had never tasted a snowball until 5 minutes ago.
What have we got here? Salmon Moose. If you had the option to go around the world with Bruce, would you have gone, and would you have wanted your own bike? And if he goes again in the future, would you join him? Well, I think we've covered that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Degav 100. It'll be so nice to see Mrs. Teapot, the woman behind the scenes, keeping Teapot hydrated.
Very good.
Very good. Ken Dan 452. Question for Mrs. Teapot. Do you feel that Mr. Teapot's mood is changing if he's not riding as much as he would like? Just asking because my wife tells me that I get grumpy if I don't ride as much as I would want.
Yes. We just discussed that, didn't we? But yeah, exactly the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Mardy bum.
It's weird. It's a feeling like I almost feel like I'm struggling to breathe. It's weird. I need to be out on the bike. It's nuts, but I do. Salmon Moose again. Loving your stuff, Bruce. Keep it up. Saw you at Winter Warmer, but was kind of starstruck, so didn't come and chat. Don't be daft. Just come up and say hello anytime. Who will drink more on the chat, you or your missus? Well, you've had 2 buckets of that so far, haven't you?
Yeah. I can usually drink those snowballs quite quickly, but
Proper piss.
I'm not. I've got to work tomorrow.
You do actually, yeah. We're cracking on for time. Are you all right for time?
I'm okay.
Okay, it's way past your bedtime, this.
It
It's
is.
like 8 o'clock at night. It's way past your bedtime.
Yeah.
Peter Brewer 681. One for Mrs. Teapot. If Bruce told you he wanted to do another round the world, we're getting lots of this, aren't we? Wanted to do another round the world, would you say yes, or would you say only if I can go 2? Also, Nikki, why didn't you follow up on your CBT? So let's go with that then, because we've answered the first part. Why didn't you follow up on the CBT?
I think we answered that earlier on as well, didn't we? Just because I didn't have my own bike. I was intending to get one.
Yeah.
And then we just never really got round to it, and then it expired. 2 years went very quickly.
Didn't it? Incredibly
really quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I do it again, I'd probably get the bike first and do my CBT on that bike. Yeah.
Well,
and then do it.
We can sort that out. Nordcap 2021. Haha, you asked for it, Mrs. TMF. Faye from Tins on Tour and Toaster, aka partner of the Gorilla Biker, are all taking to 2 wheels. Will Mrs. TeapotOne join the clan? Well, again, we've pretty much answered that. May well do.
Yeah.
See what
it's not a no.
It's all the unknowns, isn't it, at the moment? It's hard to plan anything.
There's just a lot going on. I mean, I'm glad I did my CBT. It gave me good insight into it, but I just wasn't, I don't know, I just didn't feel that confident on that bike.
Yeah.
If it was my own bike and I could, as soon as I'd passed the CBT, I'd needed to get straight out.
Yeah.
I need to not have a gap. Does that make sense?
I was surprised with your CBT because you're a very confident person normally, and you're the type of person that throws yourself into things. But you wouldn't. I'm sure you don't mind me saying, but you've not struggled, but you lacked confidence going out on the road with the bike, didn't you? For your CBT, and you said because
if you've never
you just
ridden
felt
a
so
bike
vulnerable.
before,
Yeah,
and then you
I
suddenly
get that.
just get on a bike and out of the blue it's your first go, and then within 2 days you're on the road. I mean, they were great. They were really patient. They didn't push you to do anything that you weren't ready to do, and they wouldn't put you out on the road if they didn't think you were capable.
Yeah.
But the main thing I found, like doing all the cones and all the emergency stops and all that kind of stuff, I found quite difficult. I think if I can compare it to when I was learning to drive, when I was 17, my instructor, I grew up in a little town called Retford in Nottinghamshire, which is quite near to the A1.
Yeah.
On my first lesson, my instructor took me on the A1, got me to drive onto the A1 on a slip road for a few minutes and then came off again. And he said that's the best way to get a feel for the car, to feel the power of it, it gives you confidence to change your gears. And it really did make a massive difference. And I think if I'd have done that on the bike, because do you remember, I think it was at the end of the second day when Fiona and I didn't go out.
Yeah.
We did it another day, didn't we? I think we went back. Did we go back or did we do it that day? Yeah, we went back.
You went back and did it another time. We went back,
didn't we? But after that, he said to us, just punt around where you are.
Yeah, I remember, just around
in
the
car park. It's quite big because there was a big bit of track you could go around at the back, wasn't there? He said, just practice what you need to practice. And for me, that gave me more confidence because I could do my gear changes on my own without being watched.
Yeah, yeah.
And I could go faster, and it made me, I don't know, it just made me more confident. I got a better feel for it rather than doing so much with the idly-piddly skills and cones and stuff, but just to actually get out and ride and feel it, it felt better. Yeah. It's a weird way to try and explain it, but I got more confident with the bike just having that. Yeah,
you were flying around by the end of it.
That hour.
Yeah.
Was really good.
Yeah, I remember watching. Yeah, the difference was.
Yeah, because we both, Fiona and I, just went off on our own and we just kept going round and round and practicing and going up and down the gears and I think that made a big difference.
I've just seen the next question. I like this one. Dee Dee Lovitz. Mrs. Teapot, what was it that first attracted you to the man mountain that is Bruce, and where did he take you on your first date?
It's obviously his devilishly handsome good looks.
Obviously. Hung like a donkey, obviously.
What
was it then? Come on.
I don't know. We just always got on, didn't we? We didn't know each other that well. But
I didn't know you at all. The first time I remember you, really, is we were POW, in the rec room at POW, the Parliament, basically. And I remember being there, and you were there. Because you'd come back from your trip.
I'd been to New Zealand for 3 months.
And I'd heard you around the base. And saw you at POW. We just got on, didn't we? We had a laugh.
Yeah.
And then I saw you a couple of other times, and then you sent me that message.
I messaged him on Facebook, how romantic.
Yeah. I feel like a right knobhead, but do you want to go for a drink?
I think it was something like, if you want to go out with a fat, balding bloke that looks like Shrek,
yeah,
fill your boots.
That was pretty much my reply. Yeah. And it worked.
And we went to that Henry's bar in Covent Garden.
J. Beans? Henry's
in
gone
Covent Garden, yeah, it's not there.
Yeah. That was the first date, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was nice. It was all right.
So my wit and charm and devilishly good looks.
Yes,
That's
his
what you're
wit
trying to
and
say.
charm and devilishly good looks.
Right, how long are we on? We are cracking on now for 2.5 hours. Do a couple more, will we? And then that'll do, because it's getting late now. And I know you need to be up early.
No, I'm not.
You sure?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on. Nige 250. Has Mrs. Teapot got a sister because you get away with murder? No, brother, and he's attached now too. Graham JXE. Mrs. Teapot. When Mr. Teapot was in the job, I'm guessing shifts were involved. Do you miss the peaceful night's sleep while they were on nights? Also, with the risk of his old job, there is the fear he wouldn't come home. Now he spends so much time with bikes, do you still have the same worries?
That's a good one.
But I mean, you did the same job as me, didn't you? So
Yeah. To be honest, I'm in bed before Bruce anyway,
You are.
so
yeah,
I'm usually fast asleep by the time he comes to bed.
I do. With shift work, we sort of had half the month where we were on opposite shifts,
Yeah.
and half the month where we pretty much almost, well, unless I was, I always did
They
overtime.
overlapped a bit. We had a 4-week shift pattern, didn't we?
Yeah.
And for about a week, we overlapped
Yeah,
where we were doing the same. So we would see each other, but it would be at different times
yeah,
each week, and that was quite nice because we both had our own space.
yeah.
Yeah, it worked, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Because people said to us, why don't you just go on the same team? We were both like, no way.
No.
No, thank you.
But see, the risks with the job, like, I've got to admit, when Keith died, that first
Yeah, that
terror
was bad.
attack, I did think to myself, I didn't want you. It's double standards, I know, but I did think I don't want you
Yeah.
doing the post stuff that I was doing. And I was lucky because you, like Nikki's like a specialist search officer, so there's like a unique position within diplomatic protection that you would do, which meant you weren't often out on the front sort of line like I was, standing out in
Not
front
day
of
in,
posts
day
and
out,
stuff.
was it?
Yeah. And then now you're office based as it is. So definitely for me, flipping this totally now, I'm definitely a lot happier that you're more office based now.
Yeah.
Because the threat is definitely there, as we've seen. We lost one of our own there, and I'm a lot happier that you're not on the front line all the time. How did you feel about it all?
I don't know. I've kind of just sort of get on with it.
Yeah.
I don't really know any different work-wise. It's no different. It's just always been like that for nearly 20 years.
When you're in the job, you just get on with it, don't you? Yeah.
I suppose you think about it more if you're not in the job, about not going home.
Mm-hmm.
But that could happen. I'm of the opinion that you go up to Tesco's, it could happen.
Yeah. I think we're both like that. When it's your time, it's your time,
Yeah.
really, isn't it? And doesn't, I don't think your job, your pastimes might amplify the risks, but I think ultimately when your time's here, it's going to happen, whatever you're doing, I think, for me.
Yeah, and we only ever, talking back about the shifts again, we only ever did one post together.
Chinese?
No.
No, the Egyptian embassy.
When you came back, that was your first shift back from
That's right.
being away for a year, and then you stood with me for 2 hours.
That's right. The Egyptian embassy. Yeah, we went and had a look at that builder's van, didn't
Ranger.
we? The Ranger, Ford Ranger. So Ford, if you're listening, would love a Ford Ranger. Get one of them turn up in the
what
post.
was the other part of that question? There was 2 parts.
Oh, and now that I spend so much time with bikes, do you still have the same worries?
I don't think as much as what I used to,
Do you
if
not?
I'm being honest. No. More so I worry more about the other drivers, not so much about you. Because you said yourself that this now is your business, this is your income.
Calm down massively.
You can't afford to have accidents and things.
I've had people comment actually on the channel saying you can definitely see you're much more restrained now than you used to be.
And you've got to be, because you won't have... You don't... If you're sick, if you're off sick, you don't get paid.
This. Yeah, I can't risk this.
You don't get paid.
Yeah.
So in that respect, not as much as I used to. I do worry. I always worry. Because, you know, you could be the best rider in the world, but it's the other idiots on the road, isn't it?
Yeah. You just never know.
But then all you need is that split second. I didn't used to like it sometimes when you were working and you were doing lots of overtime because you were getting tired.
Yeah.
And you would just commute. You would not use a train. He had free train travel. He would never use it, and he used to drive me nuts. Just get the train. Nope. I'm going to ride my bike.
I can't think of anything worse, getting the train. Just
no, but gosh, some days you were so tired riding.
Well, I mean...
And all you need is that...
Speaks volumes, doesn't it? I had 3 accidents,
it's that
4 accidents.
Split second.
In like 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, it's true. It doesn't take much at all. Captain Pugwash Rides. My question to Mrs. TeapotOne is, how do you cope with Bruce sitting in on the computer for hours on end, then going out on his bike? Excuse me. It takes me a week to edit a video, but I'm working 14 hours a day on my job as well as YouTube videoing. So how do you cope with them?
That's difficult because of the situation we're at the moment. We're both just sat at home working away, aren't we? So, and that actually, to be honest, that has actually been like that since you started, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not like we're missing out doing stuff together because we can't go out and do anything anyway, really. We had stuff planned for November. Like, November's our time when we do our stuff together, really, don't we?
Yeah.
And we were going to go to Norfolk, and then we had some friends to see out that way, and we had about 2 weeks, and we were just going to go off and just do what we wanted and catch up with some people and stuff, and that didn't happen. But it doesn't bother me. We started doing, at the very start, we were going out for walks and bits, weren't we? But that's... My work has got busier, and obviously the nights are non-existent now.
Well, they're going to get longer now, shorter now, the nights, aren't they? We've had the winter solstice.
Yeah. And
so that's it. Days are getting longer.
Was that today or was it tomorrow?
21st. Is that today?
Oh, it's today.
Today,
then,
isn't it? I think it's the 21st.
Yeah, so we'd like to do more.
I think when normality comes back, then, you know, because you're office based now pretty much, and I think
there's no shifts.
It would be nice to isolate the weekends, maybe.
Yeah.
Or at least a day or two a week where we spend time. I had a guy called, don't know if you wouldn't have seen it, but I had this American moto vlogger on who's one of the biggest in the world, called Chase on Two Wheels. And it was really interesting to hear him, that after 10, 12 years of him doing this, he said now, basically, come 6 o'clock, every day at 6 o'clock, Monday to Friday, weekends he's off. Monday to Friday comes 6, he finishes. Both he downs tools, and like his little camera crew that he has know that he will not work by 6 unless there's a deadline that they have to meet, you know, exceptional circumstances. And that was really, really weird to hear him say that he literally has office hours that he works. Yeah. Because, you know, for me and everyone I know, it's you just work all the time, you know, to try and
but that's probably
get the content
good for you.
out there.
Because you need to have that time out. But you can't do that, though, because if you've got stuff...
I can't relax.
Rendering or whatever it does, I don't know, when you come down there and then you start messing about on your phone, you're still doing work-related stuff on your phone. Yeah. Until you start playing cards.
Well, I have a break by playing solitaire on my phone.
He has a screen break by playing cards on his phone.
But it's like, you know, you've got all comments to answer on, you know, Instagram, Facebook.
You don't have to answer them all. People
YouTube.
don't expect you to answer them all.
But I want to try and answer everyone. I definitely, the last month or so, I definitely haven't answered as many as I used to. just because I just haven't been able to.
You physically can't do it if you've got everything else to do.
Yeah, but then there's folk like TMF, Missing and Flyer. He's got nearly 200,000 subscribers, and he makes a point of answering all his questions. And I'm like, well, there's no excuse for me. I need to do it. I've got to do that. And I like to do that. I like to try and at least acknowledge that somebody's, taking the time to leave a comment. Then it's sort of, I kind of, not obliged, but I kind of think, well, if you've taken the time, I should take the time.
You maybe can't do that all the time if you've got a lot of other stuff happening.
Well, if I've not answered your comment or your question yet, I will get round to it.
He does read them.
I do read them.
Absolutely.
If I've read them, I'll at least give you a thumbs up or a like or something like that. Anyway.
And what was the other bit? What was the question, the rest of it?
That was it, I think.
Oh, was it just that one bit?
Yeah, it was just that, yeah. Is Uncle Bob's biker life? Question: is his fame rubbing off or being noticeable in any way?
Yeah, he does get people stop him, don't you? Sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's cool. I like that.
It's quite funny. Yeah. It is nice. We've had this bit before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is nice.
Mm-hmm. It's nice. I mean, I love it, but I mean, for you, what's it like?
No, it's nice. It's like I said before. It's nice to see that you sort of get the reward for the hard work you put in.
Yeah.
To see that people are enjoying it, because that's what it's about, isn't it? You want people to enjoy it and appreciate what you're doing, and they do. So when you actually see that when a random stranger comes up and says it, it's really nice, and you've always got time for people. If people see him and they don't ever feel bad about going up to say hello, because you can hear it in real life how he went around the world for a year. But no, seriously, we'll always just give you 5 minutes and say hello and shake your hand and that, won't you? Well, you used to shake your hand. You can't do it now. Fist bump or shoulder bump or whatever. But yeah, it's nice. It doesn't. I don't let it go to his head. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, you don't. You keep me.
I keep you grounded.
There's a lot of repeat questions here. I'm trying to look and see if there's a. Sorry, bear with me, folks. I'm just trying to find a question that's not been asked yet.
My knee's aching.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think we'll call it quits soon.
The bad thing is I've now got to sit and listen to him editing this, and listen to my own voice for a whole week, just cringing. It's just going to be horrible.
There's not much editing in a week. This is going out on Wednesday, like in 1 day's time. There won't be much editing for this. Right, we'll do this as I think we've already covered this actually. It's about me leaving the job and how it affected mine. We've covered that. Right, okay, we'll make this the last one. This is Mark Moore Neal. Obviously, Mrs. T knows how lucky she is to have married a 6 foot fat Scotsman. But what, if anything, would she change about you? That's a good one to finish on.
What would I change about you?
Yeah.
Oh, I love you just the way you are.
I wish I had a 9-inch cock rather than this great big walloper I've got.
Something like that, dear. I don't know if I'd change a lot, to be honest.
Come on, there's got to be something.
I'd quite like to have pots of money so I can retire and I can just go and...
I'd like to have pots of money.
Car booting.
Oh, God, no.
Every weekend.
No. You'd be on your own.
Have my own little shop.
You'd have your own house, dear. We wouldn't be together.
I'd have a little shop. You said I could have a little shop.
You can have a little shop, yeah, no problem. As long as it makes money, you can have a little shop.
I won't need it, though, because if you're...
Okay, if I'm minted, yeah, fine. Fair one.
Yeah. No, I don't think there is anything that would change about you, really.
Bollocks, there must be something.
I wouldn't want you to be as annoying in the car. That really does wind me up. And you know it winds me up, so you do it more.
Just buy a Ranger then. I won't annoy you if we have a Ranger.
Yeah, swap the Flabby in for a Ranger.
Yeah. Do it, do it, do it.
I don't think so, dear. No, I don't know.
I don't believe that. Anyway.
I'd have to think on that, I think.
Well, as always, normally I give people the opportunity to chat about what they've been up to and where people can go to follow them, etc. Mrs. Teapot, she's here.
That's it.
Yeah. Anything you want to say before we finish up?
Didn't Champs have a question?
Not on Instagram. I can't log into Facebook on this. It won't let me. I've not seen it on Insta. Can you see it on your Facebook? Bear with us, folks.
Can you pause it for a minute?
Yeah, I'll edit this out. Pardon, excuse me.
Cute.
What's a code generator? It's saying I need a code generator.
There you go. There's just all. There's loads of comments. There's 52 comments on there, so I think a lot of them you've already done. So just pick them out.
We'll just do one more then.
No, just do a couple. Just do a handful because it's fair. They're all the people that I know. You see, people on there that I know.
Okay.
I don't know anybody. Back in.
Right. Apparently, we need to do some Facebook questions. So, Champ. Good old champs. Mrs. Teapot, you have a bell at work for certain words that are so foul in order to restore some decorum. Do you use the same technique at Chateau Teapot, asking for a friend?
No, Champs. He's well trained.
She's got a mouth like a sewer, Champs. You know that.
I do not.
Walshy, Mark Walsh, at last, an interpreter. Maybe now you can reach a wider audience. Says you. She was. Pop Larkin. Treacle one on a podcast could be a few sticky moments for Bruce. It's been all right actually so far. You've been very kind, I would say so far.
I want my dinner tomorrow night.
What's that?
I want my dinner tomorrow night.
Let's have a look here. Tom Hodgkinson. Great that, mate. We get to see who's the boss. When you're under her feet, does she ever suggest you go on another world trip? I know mine would. Merry Christmas to you both. You are actually good for that. We said that before, but you are good. You do just say, go out on your bike, bugger off.
Yeah.
God, there's loads here. All right, I'll tell you what I'll do. We'll make this one more. This is it. That's a good question, but it's not for you. I'll not do that one. I take it this is somebody you know, Cliff Price.
Yeah.
Says, I heard a rumour that Mrs. Teapot assisted in producing the highest calibre of law enforcers during her time as a street duties instructor. Was he one of your puppies?
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Can't believe you were a street duties instructor.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know, when you, in the old Bill, well, in the Met anyway, when you used to finish Hendon, you had to do a probationary period before you were officially qualified as a copper. So you'd have to do a street duties course where you got you'd go out with some experienced coppers and they would basically just puppy walk you through the first days, weeks, months on the street. And Nikki was one of them. Says a lot about the quality of police officer in London. Right, I think that's going to do us. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Have you enjoyed it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you can tell now. I have actually.
Good. You were a bit nervous, weren't you?
Yeah, well, not to start. Well, I didn't feel nervous about doing it. I found it quite difficult to do when I first sat down.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, it's just weird. It's just weird kind of relaxing into it and just chatting. It's just a bit, I don't know, it just feels weird.
We don't normally do it.
No, I try not to talk to you if I can help it.
I've enjoyed it. Genuinely, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I don't know anything about bikes. It's probably going to be really boring for you all.
I don't either. Won't worry about it.
But
folks, hope you've enjoyed this one. No idea who's coming on next. There's a couple lined up, but no definitive dates as yet. I'm going to take a break over Christmas, so it'll probably be the new year when we have the next podcast. Hope you have a great Christmas, doing whatever you are doing, whatever tier you are in, whatever you are allowed to do. Keep on doing your thing. Look after those that you love. But most importantly...
live your life.
Most importantly... live
hit that like
your
and subscribe
life.
button.
Woo-ha!
You dick.